Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to War a Week Boxing. Sorry, guys, I just wanted to do my ring announcing spiel. But, guys, on this episode of War Week Boxing Chats, we're going to talk about Tyson Fury's new slender physique. Will it prove to hinder or help his chances for victory against Oleksandr Usyk? We're also going to be talking about Uncle Al supposedly, allegedly, owing Floyd over $100 million? Guys, all of this and more on the latest edition of War Week Boxing Chats.
Sean Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron.
Guys, welcome. Good evening to all of you. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys have had a wonderful week thus far. And I want to thank you guys for joining us on the shows that we've actually had up to this point with our very dear friends, Iceman John Scully, as well as Coach Ronnie Shields. So guys, want to thank them for their generous efforts in contributing and being a part of the War Week Boxing family, as all of you as well. Want to thank all of you guys for joining and supporting all of their shows. Guys, good news. We've got Coach James Gogi going to be coming on a special Thursday night episode tomorrow night. He's going to be breaking down the big one coming up on Saturday night or Saturday day, however you want to look at it, in Saudi Arabia. Oh, boy, I tell you what. SSP diving. But, yeah, James Gogi is going to be on tomorrow night. So, guys, good news. We are going to get that Gogi breakdown and prediction after all. SSP diving, what's up, brother? Still need to finish listening to the podcast from yesterday. Brother, that's a good thing about YouTube and podcasting. It's there all week until the end of time. So thank you for being a part of the family, SSP. And also, my brother Mark, good evening to you, my friend. And guys, in case you have your headphones and want to chop things up with yours truly, please don't be shy. Put on your headphones. Click the link. Click the StreamYard link, guys. It's open for everyone. That's why it's War Week Boxing Chats tonight. But, guys, we're going to be talking about Tyson Fury. Now, it's funny. Coach Ronnie brought something up, and I want to get your thoughts on it, guys. And one of the things I love about doing War Week Boxing Chats every single week, at least once a week, is very seldom do I get to voice my opinion on the other shows. Obviously, that's why you tune into the other shows, because you want to hear from what Ronnie thinks. You want to hear what Iceman John Scully thinks, Coach Gogi, and our brother Rick Glazier, who I've just spoke with him this afternoon. He is on the mend. He's feeling much better, and he should be available immediately following the big fight this Saturday. So look forward to that, guys. Also, G Funky, as well as my brother James from the Boxing Source. He always does a great job. But this is our opportunity to listen to what you guys have to say about it. And I get to voice my opinion as well. My always outspoken opinion. Guys, we've got a lot to cover, though. And I'm going to be here for at least a couple of hours. So get your headphones, guys. Click on the link. We want to hear what you guys have to say about this. But first item up for bid. Well, let's go through the entire syllabus, shall we? We're going to be talking about Tyson Fury and his slender physique. And once again, Ronnie Shields brought up on the show last night. He seems more than a bit concerned that all of this, and a lot of people are talking about it. They're not saying, boy, he looks to be in great shape. No, they're remarking about the quick weight loss. And they're thinking, is this actually a healthy thing that he's done? Keep in mind, guys, think about how long ago the nightmare in Saudi Arabia for Tyson Fury, right, against Francis Ngannou. That was what, in October of last year? So he's had all of that time to shed those pounds, right? So we're talking about 6.5 months, right? And he looks svelte. I've read stories where they've classified his appearance as being gaunt. And, well, it's a little alarming. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think it's going to hinder or help his performance and his chances for victory against a cerebral predator in the ring, Oleksandr Usyk? Because I tell you what, looking at the media workout today, want to get your thoughts on that as well. Now, honestly, in most media workouts, you usually don't see much. But what I saw a couple things. One, Oleksandr Usyk. He's Oleksandr Usyk, and if it isn't broken, why fix it, right? He's going to be Oleksandr Usyk. When he's fighting taller, rangier fighters, he does a great job of just moving around the perimeter, moving around the pocket, stepping at angles, giving you different looks, using a ton of feints, foot feints, head feints, shoulder feints, touch jabs. I mean, this guy, Tyson Fury, he's got his work cut out for him, guys. But then again, in the media workout, I did see Tyson Fury and Javen working on controlling that left hand. It's almost like they watched. If I didn't know any better, it's almost like they watched Tank Davis's masterful job at disarming, taking away Ryan Garcia's primary weapon, that beautiful left hook, right? It's almost, if I didn't know any better, I'd say they watched that, because it's almost like they're giving away the game plan. Like, obviously, he showed a little bit of trying to muscle Javen in the ring. And this is one thing I always loved about Javen as well as Emmanuel. And guys, if you hadn't noticed already, Javen, just like a franchise at McDonald's, he's not going to have a different recipe than any of the other franchises at McDonald's, right? He's not, just because he owns this corporate franchise of the Kronk, right? He learned from the very best. And he's not going to have a different recipe or a different method of making the fries. That's just stupid. So he confided in me and said, look, why would you do anything differently? Emmanuel was the greatest. And so I do everything exactly like Emmanuel, including when he's working pads, he makes it like a real fight in there. And he tries to replicate the same looks that his opponent may or may not be giving him, may not show him, may show him. Now, once again, for Oleksandr Usyk, that's the tough assignment. It's almost like trying to prepare for someone like Canelo Alvarez. Like, very few guys are going to be able to replicate that kind of creative combination punching, right? It's almost like preparing for Terrence Crawford. Like Ronnie spelled out so eloquently 2 weeks ago on last week's show. It's still up, guys, if you hadn't heard it. But it's almost like preparing for TC. Bud, that guy's a different predator. Like Oleksandr Usyk, he's a cerebral predator. and an athletically gifted one as well. He's ambidextrous. He's a switch hitting badass. So you've got to actually you've got to bring in, right, orthodox and southpaw sparring partners. So how do you prepare for a guy like Oleksandr Usyk? A guy who's going to give you looks, angles that most fighters wouldn't be able to. But guys, at this time, it's my pleasure to welcome to the War Week boxing stage, Mr. Kevin Perry. Welcome, Platinum. How you doing, my friend?
Good. You kind of caught me off guard there, but yeah, thanks for having me on.
Well, I tell you what, brother. Yeah, why beat around the bush? Don't want to make you wait in the queue, brother.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it's I'm thankful. You know, it's I gotta say something. So I don't want to be like a butt kisser because I'm really not a butt kisser. I don't really have a lot of respect for a lot of people. Well, actually, I respect everybody, but within reason. But there's a lot of shows, and I want to listen to a lot of boxing shows and support a lot of shows, but there's not really too many shows that deserve my time. But I gotta say, you're one of the few shows that weekly I listen to, and I, I I just don't see how some other channels have so many subscribers and they just talk so much junk. And you guys, I mean, you guys do it real. I mean, I don't agree with everything you say, or maybe certain things that you say in your show. I mean, you're probably not as politically correct in a lot of ways, but as far as boxing goes, I mean, you guys bring it, and you guys, you know the business. I've been around this business a long time, and when you guys talk about boxing, I can respect everything you guys do 100%. So that's why I can always ride with you guys.
Thank you very much, Kevin. That really means a great deal to all of us who donate our efforts for this show. And once again, guys, we don't do it for super chats. Now, donations are always welcome, of course, but we don't do it for that. Our primary income is working in this business, right? And we've been in this business everyone who's on this show have been in this business for a substantial period of time. And, you know, and it's shocking, though. So thank you for saying that. But even on a channel like ProBox TV, right, even though they have guys who are boxing through and through, guys that I respect, they still bring up fanboy talking points. And it's actually quite shocking. So the whole ideology behind putting together War Week Boxing is, and this is why we call it War Week Boxing. It's an homage to our great mentor, Don War a Week Chargan, arguably the greatest to have ever done it. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most fight cards. Yeah.
I wanted so because you said something about the fanboy talking points, which
Yep.
I don't see two of. I follow them pretty much. Yes, they probably do it, but the thing is, they do it a little bit. But the thing is, you have to kind of do certain things to open yourself up to a wider audience. So I do understand certain things that outlets kind of probably have to do because I've been around boxing probably since, man, I can't even think, probably 2005, and things have
About 20
changed.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. So there's a lot of young people in the way that they consume their media and stuff is completely different to. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 46 years old, so I'm not a really old guy, but I'm not a really young guy either. I'm kind of in the middle somewhere. So things change, and you have to kind of adjust to the time if you want to build an audience. But they still keep it real. You know, I wouldn't criticize them. I think they're really doing a great thing. I think their Wednesday night fights, things that they're doing,
Oh,
is
that's
really,
absolutely brilliant. And it's such a gift to every boxing fan, every real fan of boxing. And guys, tell all your friends, free world-class boxing entertainment
I
on for
think
free
the
on YouTube. It's amazing. No, I was referring to
the
some of the things that Sean Porter, Tim Bradley, Chris Algieri, and Paulie decide to discuss and talk about. Now, once again, sometimes they keep it real, and it's about 50-50 to me. And then sometimes they just talk about idle gossip and absolute nonsense. But see, that's why I was saying, so the ideology of this show and our the reason why we're deciding we predominantly focus on the business as well as the X's and O's of the sport is that we feel that fans, if they learn more and are more educated on the business of boxing, they will understand and appreciate the sport more and complain less. Yeah, we're not going to talk about any of the nonsense.
well,
Now we'll do it for fun,
Joe,
but huh?
Joe, they're always boxing fans are always going to find something to complain about. I mean, that's just the reality of
Yeah.
we've been
Yeah.
around. No
Uh-huh.
matter what goes on, you could have it just part of the appeal of boxing, I think, to me is the controversy that surrounds this sport, and it's been like this since probably the beginning of the sport. Even
Mm-hmm.
if you look
Mm-hmm.
back, boxing started out. It's had so many changes. So boxing started out with no gloves.
Of course.
Then it went, then it went to something I guess that would resemble a glove, and things have
Mm-hmm.
kind of gone on since then. And then boxing was the premier sport at one time, and
Absolutely.
boxing has always survived through so much trials and tribulations with competition from sports. And what's so crazy is boxing's death. And I'm trying to. I mean, so many people have predicted the death of boxing for so long, and then a big fight happens, and everybody forgets about how boxing's dying. You know, I remember when Oscar De La Hoya was his career was winding down. And people
I
were like,
know
oh,
what you're gonna
boxing.
say. Yeah, you're right.
And then Floyd Mayweather came along, and then Manny Pacquiao came along, and then we had
That's right.
a huge fight with Pacquiao and Mayweather that
Ugh.
everybody thought was never going to happen. It was way past his due date. And I remember Pacquiao getting knocked out against Juan Manuel Marquez. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like the sport was doomed. Mayweather and Pacquiao was never going to happen. And you know what happened? So you can never really predict what's going to happen in boxing because there's a new star that always comes along that
That's right.
um, intrigues the population. And now, because of social media and whatnot, the sport is changing a lot. But for
Yep.
example, Jake
Tyson
Paul and
Paul.
Mike Tyson, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Yep.
Wow, could we ever perceive something, an event like this?
Oh,
Which hopefully it'll
jeez.
be good for the sport of boxing. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that's good for the future of boxing, or is there a scenario where it's going to be good, or is there a scenario where this could be bad for boxing?
Um, Look, there is a scenario where it's going to be boxing's biggest blessing or boxing's greatest curse, most dismal curse, right? Because it just like Pacquiao, and I'm glad you brought up Pacquiao versus Floyd, because that was supposed to be the purging of everything, the fight of the millennium. How did it play out and how many fans, because it didn't sizzle on the biggest stage with all eyes on us. It didn't sizzle. Fans felt ripped off. Maybe they felt ripped off because they wanted Floyd, the dastardly villain of the sport, to finally get his comeuppance. But they felt ripped off, especially when they found out, not realizing that most fighters are going into a major prize fight with some kind of lingering ailment. They don't realize that. And so when they found out that Manny Pacquiao wasn't 100%, they felt ripped off and they wanted their money back. Do you remember that class action suit that was filed against Mayweather Promotions, Golden Boy, and Top Rank, everyone involved?
Yeah, what happened with that? Did anybody get their money back?
Hell no. No, dude, because it was ridiculous. It was absurd. Once
Yeah.
again, just so the a waste of everyone's time and effort and money, right?
But I think
So
with
here's what I'm getting to though. That didn't sizzle, and we're still trying to shake off that stink of Pacquiao Floyd laying an egg on the biggest stage of boxing. Once again, if you're a real boxing fan, yeah, you were in awe of how he shut down, masterfully shut down the otherwise very busy Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, but you know what though is that fight was a matter of a style that was not it just didn't mesh for some reason. I don't know why.
well,
Maybe 5 years
well,
earlier it would have been a better fight, but
well.
Mayweather.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Kevin. Because look, Gogi predicted the outcome perfectly. He said before that show when we were on the old East Side Boxing, the Pugilist Corner, or maybe it was Fight Saga Radio at that time. And nonetheless, we were on East Side Boxing, and he said, "Look, guys, he's not an inside fighter. To have any kind of success against Floyd Mayweather, you've got to cut off that reaction time. He's got the best reflexes in boxing by far. And to have any semblance of success, you've got to put your head right in his chest and go to work. You've got to keep him on the ropes, a la Marcos Maidana, Jose Luis Castillo.
Yeah, it's
And
funny.
that's not Manny Pacquiao. That's not Manny Pacquiao. He's a guy who lunges it from mid to long range. That's how Marquez caught him in their fourth meeting, right? But yeah, he said so. Floyd's going to see all of that coming all day long. I think he hurt him once in the fourth or fifth round, maybe. But
Yeah.
Floyd, being Floyd and always in great shape, recovered very quickly. And he never got caught again like that. Because, I mean, if you hurt someone like Floyd or Andre Ward or Terrence Crawford, you better finish him off because he's not going to give you that opportunity again. He's going to immediately take that away. He's a cerebral predator. So my point is, going into your question of Paul versus Tyson Fury or Mike Tyson, it had better fucking sizzle. Pardon my French, guys. It had better sizzle. Now, I don't care how it plays out. It just had better be a lot more entertaining and more eventful than that god-awful exhibition a couple years ago between Tyson and Roy Jones. That was dreadful, guys. That was horrific. But what did everyone expect? So I don't care how it plays out, what happens, because once again on this channel,
I thought Roy Jones and Mike Tyson, and you can tell me if I'm kind of going off the deep end here. That fight, I had very low expectations, so I thought it exceeded my expectations. I was actually entertained by it for some reason. I don't know why, but because I didn't expect much, I thought the event actually turned out pretty good. What do you think? Do you think I'm just kind of
No, you're right on point. If your you're right on point. If your expectations were low, like every intelligent fight fans were going into that event, just to see those two all-time greats and those two legends in the same ring again, it was something to behold. Just the mere spectacle of it, and because of the fanfare, because of the production value from Triller at the time, because of the music, because of, I mean, it was absolutely incredible.
I
In terms of
I had no expectation that it was going to be a real fight. So I guess in that sense, I was just like you were saying, I was just happy to like be there as a spectator. And then it was the whole pandemic thing was going on. So
of course,
I was
and
just
it was
happy to see something. You know what I mean?
Of course, and the fact that, see, I was just remarking though from a mainstream and casual, because we're in this business. And that's honestly, that's all I care about, guys, is does the product sizzle on the big stage with all eyes on us? And so I don't care who wins, guys. And now, of course, me being a fan, first and foremost, I'm hoping that Tyson just makes a good account of himself. And I hope I hope we get some knockdowns. I hope someone gets knocked out. And I hope all the fights really create a lot of drama. The co-main event with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, my boy Floyd Schofield Jr. versus Ashton Sylvie. That's a great matchup.
Undercard. It's a good under.
And so my point is, as long as the fights deliver in drama and aren't just boring clinch fest snoozers, as long as it creates that drama, then it could be the best thing to happen for boxing in a very long time. But it has to sizzle. It has to create that drama. It has to get people talking the following Monday when they reconvene at work, right? But guys, at this time, it's my pleasure to welcome my brother from Florida, Tony Manzano. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Kevin. How are you guys today?
We are doing great, sir. Thank you for joining me.
Honestly, I'm predicting this. I think Tyson knocks him out within the first 20 seconds. I don't think Jake Paul's under just because he's fit. Tyson doesn't look like any normal 50-year-old. If you've seen his body, there is no way in hell Jake Paul
I thought you were about to say Tyson Fury was going to knock out Usyk in 20 seconds. I was about to jump on you right there.
No. Boy, I tell you what, this is like honestly, we'll get back to that in a second, guys. Fury Usyk, because we have a lot to discuss on that. Like I said, thank you for joining us, both Kevin and Tony and everyone in the chat, because we're gonna go well into the wee hours of the morning on this one, because I've got a lot to talk about. And we're just getting started.
I already have my predictions for that fight.
Hold on. We'll get to that, my friend Tony.
I'm getting excited.
No. As you should be, brother. You're a great fan of the sport, and you're a great ambassador. Tell all your friends. So once again, if this
by the way, sizzles, Joe, before you continue,
sir.
Actually, I have friends who are outside the country in the military, and I told them to subscribe to your channel and stuff like that.
Thank you, Tony. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much.
And they say you have you're one of the best. You're not. They tell me that you're one of the most unbiased channels in terms of not favoring a fighter. You want the sport to thrive and stuff like that.
Oh, brother, thank you, man. And that's the only bias that anyone on this channel and in the business actually has. Like, we don't view that the fights the same way you guys do. And honestly, I wish I did, because it was a lot more fun back then. Do you remember back in the day, Kevin, before you were in this business? Do you remember waking up that Saturday morning and saying, holy shit, Tyson and Holyfield are going to get it on for the very first time? And that's all you thought about all day long. I haven't felt that way in decades. And like I said, I am very envious of anyone who's still a passionate, diehard fan who lives for this stuff. Once again, I love it. The more the merrier, guys. I don't care who you're rooting for. Wave that damn pom-pom, brother. Pick a side. Or, you know what? I always encourage picking a side rather than betting, right?
The fight that got me into the sport was Morales versus Marquez. That's the fight that got me into the sport.
Morales Barrera or Morales Marquez?
No.
Barrera?
No, Morales Marquez.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I tell you what, man. You can't go wrong with those all-time great featherweights back in the day. Like, holy shit, man. And Marquez at the time, he had a lot. Like, he was very, very envious of the love and the passion that the Mexican fight fans were showing Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera at the time, because he was coming up at the same time. And because, if you remember correctly, Anthony, he was getting shunned by the Mexicans. They're like, he doesn't fight like a Mexican fighter, because he was a boxer puncher. He was a guy who traditionally used to just keep it from mid to long range, used to box. And he understood, well, that's why I'm not as popular as those other guys. And so he adopted, out of necessity, hey, I'm going to have to sit in the pocket and bang with these guys if I want to earn my respect from the Mexican faithful. And he did. And boy, I tell you what, the fans were the beneficiaries. That guy let his balls hang in the center of the ring, and he's an all-time great as a result.
Did that change the perception of Juanma a little bit?
Now, when you say Juanma, I'm thinking you mean the Puerto Rican.
No, Juan Manuel Marquez.
Yeah, Juan Manuel Marquez. I know, but most people don't actually call him Juanma. Oh my gosh, yeah, everyone like had this. Like when he moved up in weight, especially to 30 and 35, he was in wars, man. It was beautiful. His fight with the baby bull Juan Diaz, which we brought up on Ronnie Shields' show yesterday. His war with Katsitis, Casamayor. I mean, jeez, man. No, not Casamayor. Just his wars with Manny Pacquiao. I mean, getting up off the canvas 3 times in the first round to get a draw.
That was a classic.
That set the table for the rest of his career. That made him a legend. That was unheard of because we had all seen what he did to Marco Antonio Barrera. And I was there just as a fan before I got in this business. That was at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Did Juanma ever fight Oscar Marquez? Did Manuel Marquez ever fight Oscar at 135 or 140?
No. That was before his time. Oscar at the time was already at the tail end of his career, and he had been fighting already at 54 for quite some time when Manuel Marquez was making a name for himself. But I tell you what, he fought everybody. He's a legend, and he changed his style, and he became a very big fan favorite. And you know what? He's one of those guys who isn't afraid to take risks in the ring and walk through fire for our entertainment if it means getting the fan approval. That's how much boxing means to Mexican fighters, right? They want that approval of the fans. And so he changed his style. Yep. Very sporting of him. Took a ton of punishment for his efforts. Go ahead, sir.
He was in some real stinkers. I don't know if you remember. He had that fight with Freddie Norwood.
Of course I do. Yep.
Derek Gainer. He had that fight with Chris Goss. I mean, those were just dreadful. I mean, fights to watch. And then all of a sudden, that fight with Pacquiao. I mean, he was somebody HBO. They didn't even want to put him on the air. I remember back in the day. He was not.
Yeah, he was confined to Showtime, if you remember correctly. And you know what's funny? James Gogi was training a Filipino by the name of Jim Rex Jaca. And you see Floyd Gogi with the beard, the cap in the corner, and walking out to the ring with him. And he said, you know what? We're going to force this guy to fight. Because he was confined to Showtime. HBO didn't want to have anything to do with him. If you didn't fight like Eric Morales or Marco Antonio Barrera, we don't need you. And so he was confined to Showtime. He and his brother both, Rafa. And that's when he had that fight with James Gogi's guy. Said, hey, this guy's a cutie pie. He just boxes you from mid to long range. We're going to get my guy in shape, and we're going to force this guy to bang in the pocket. And that created a monster. Yep. Like after that, from that point forward, Marquez was all action. He was a cerebral action fighter. Very intelligent, creative combinations in the pocket. And he was all balls. And you know what? Boxing was a better sport because of it. So where are those guys today who are willing to let their balls hang in the center of the ring?
Maybe Tank?
Tank? No, he's willing to. He will stink out the joint, giving rounds away until he forces you to fight his fight and move forward.
Ryan?
So he's one of those. He almost reminds you of a Cuban exile. Guys like Francis Barthélemy, guys like Erislandy Lara, who are not going to flip the script just to force the action. He and Guillermo Rigondeaux, he fights a lot like him, where he's a counterpuncher by trade. And he's not going to go after you. You have to come to him. That's why so many of his fights are very not all that action filled, because he's waiting for you to make a mistake, fight his fight, and put you on your ass for good. And if it weren't, just like Mikey Garcia, if it weren't for his knockouts, he's got an almost perfect knockout ratio. If it weren't for his knockouts, his fights would be downright boring. Am I wrong in stating that, Kevin?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Am I wrong in stating that?
No, it's kind of like it depends on what you like. So, for example, I'm a big fan of Erislandy Lara.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
often the most entertaining fights, but what's
Mhm.
funny is he gets a lot of criticism. But he was in the fight of the year against Jared Hurd.
Oh, and against Alfredo Angulo.
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit,
and
man.
what's funny
Woo.
is I was when I used to cover boxing for Ring Talk. I used to cover a lot of fights, and I was
Mhm.
ringside for that fight, and that was a great fight. I mean, he got
Oh,
dropped
yeah.
a time, and the thing with Lara is, if you put him in with the right opponent who's going to come forward, because
That's
he's
it.
he's a sniper. Just like you saw his fight a few weeks ago against that Australian guy. I mean,
Yep.
that was a one-punch knockout. I mean, but before the knockout, I mean, he probably didn't land a punch until the knockout. But he
That's
is a
right.
great puncher. Um, he is like so cerebral. He is like a textbook type of fighter that he's like a fine wine. You know, like
Yep.
um, all it takes is one shot from him. But
Yep.
if you're not going to press him, it's going to be a really boring fight. But if you come
Yep.
forward, he makes for a good fight. So he needs to be in with the right opponents. Kind of like Guillermo Rigondeaux's more of a defensive fighter than Lara. But
Would you say Lara has to be forced to lead the fight, Kevin?
No. He has to be with the right dance partner, is what he's saying. Like guys, like when you see Erislandy, criticize him all you want, but when you see him in fights with effective aggressors, like Alfredo Angulo, and Jared Hurd started out his career as a counterpuncher, and he was forced to be the aggressor because he wanted to be that ticket seller. He wanted to be that big attraction, and God bless him. Um, but when you adopt that mindset and adopt that style, and I thought he had the athleticism where he didn't have to, but he did it anyway to try and get more TV dates, right? And it worked. But in the immortal words of Eddie Futch, if you adopt that style, you're going to have a short but glorious career.
yeah,
And that he did.
look at where those guys are now. So he lost to Jared Hurd. Where's Jared Hurd? I mean, nobody's heard from that guy.
Yeah, he's gone.
Erislandy Lara is still around. He doesn't take a whole lot
Mm-hmm.
of punishment.
That's it.
To beat Lara, you pretty much got to go in there and really give it your all and really take a lot of shots to win the fight. I mean, you saw Canelo when Canelo fought Lara. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't hit Lara with a bag of rice. He landed a couple shots,
I love that saying, man.
but
Is Lara
really,
the one that fought Manny at 147?
No, sir. No. Erislandy Lara? No, he's always campaigned at 54 and 60.
Who am I thinking of that fought Manny Pac-Man at 147 for his title? It was a Cuban guy, a Cuban fighter.
Hold on. That's a good question. Let me look, sir. But as you were, Kevin, keep going, sir. You're doing great.
well, I'm just kind of making comparisons to people's perceptions on boxers. So because a fighter who is especially like the Cuban fighters, they kind of
Mm-hmm.
need a right dance partner to make a good fight.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're
unless of course, you're Dave Morrell Jr. or you're Yorkis Gamboa. Now, those two guys,
yeah,
they did not fit the mold, and that's why fans love them. Honestly, it just makes me sick that David Morrell is just sitting in idle in his prime years. It's like, yeah, I know he's fighting on June or what is it, on the August 3rd card, but it'll be over a year or almost a year since he's been in the ring. Oh, what was it? He was on the last Showbox card in December. That's it. And he's going to be fighting in August. guys, we need to see, like, Dave Morrell has the talent. In my mind, he's the most athletic fighter in boxing. He's the most athletically gifted fighter at this time. He's an ambidextrous switch hitter, just like Terrence Crawford, and he's more athletically gifted. That guy can do it all. Like, I've seen him do headstands in the center of the ring at Ronnie Shields' gym in Sugar Land, Texas. That's how gifted he is. He's an amazing dude. Are you referring to Yordenis Ugas?
Yes.
At 40?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And DJ Mexicano, the Texas. Welcome to the show, sir. He actually, he actually called it. Yep, there it is. Thank you, brother, for joining us. Before we move on, let's go ahead and say hello to our dear friends in the chat, guys, right? Once again, Mark, thank you for joining us, brother. God bless you, my friend. SSP Diving, thank you for always supporting and being a part of the family. And Platinum Fights, thank you for being on the show, sir. Our brother, Slide Tendencies. It's not a party until you're here, Slide. Thank you for always being a part of the show, sir. Alonzo Amazing, thank you for being a part of the show always, my friend. And yes, please hit the like button, guys, if you can. Alonzo Amazing, SMH, Fake Alonzo. Well, okay, twins. Very good. Adam Hurley. Fury lost a ton of weight. He's going to fight Inoue. Thank you for being a part of the show, sir. Alonzo Amazing. Which one is it? Matt Chat Boxing is live. Well, guys, if you like to see guys screaming at each other, just regurgitating nonsense, well, then there's your channel. Andrew Charles. Welcome to the show, sir. Floyd Pack was definitely over-marinated. Well, that seems to be the sentiment, and I agree. It should have happened 4 or 5 years prior to when it did. But, guys, once again, this is a big problem, and this is why Canelo is not fighting Dave Benavidez, because he doesn't have to. And that was the problem with Manny Pacquiao fighting Floyd Mayweather, not fighting at the time, because they were making so much money fighting everybody else. Why would you if you don't have to? And that's Canelo's biggest dilemma. That's fans' biggest dilemma, and why we're not getting Canelo Alvarez versus Dave Benavidez at 68. Now it's too late, I'm afraid.
No, just let me say something. So
yes, sir.
I think the problem with Canelo is a lot of the people who are follow Canelo, they're not boxing fans. They're Canelo fans. So
I agree. Agreed.
They will buy Canelo or whoever he's going to fight. They don't know anything about the opponent. And then when the fight is like average, they're probably going to want to BS and complain about it. But the thing is, if you're a real boxing fan, boxing is about the matchup. So that's what grows the sport. When you get two really, it doesn't necessarily need to be two superstars, but Canelo is a superstar, and boxing fans know that David Benavidez is the right opponent. So, and I'm going to bring something up here. So, see if you can marinate what I'm saying. My wife is not somebody you would say is a boxing fan. But mind you, before I met my wife, her previous boyfriend to me was a boxer. So when I told her I was in the business, I guess her boyfriend used to fight out of Wild Card, but he wasn't a great fighter. He was a journeyman fighter.
He was a sparring partner. Yeah,
exactly. So he wasn't a great fighter. He was somebody that probably took beatings and whatnot. So he's not a lover of boxing, but whenever David Benavidez is on, he knows her boxing. So he really likes to watch him. And right there, I knew it was like, she understands the sport. David Benavidez is a great fighter, but the thing is, he needs to beat somebody that's on a level of Canelo to become a superstar. So,
well, that's usually the case. But in today's era of business, right? That's not it. Like, there is no torch-bearing fight any longer. Like that may or may not be the case, but that's always determined by the real bosses of boxing, by the fans. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan Garcia's never had that, and he has become one of the biggest stars of our beloved boxing by far.
Well, I guess what I'm saying,
And
Joe.
look at Jake Paul, right?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm looking at my wife as a layman, somebody that doesn't watch boxing at all, but they know what they're looking.
I tell you what, though, Kevin, it sounds like your girl knows boxing a lot better than Stephen A. Smith. So I'm sorry, as you
That's
were,
not saying something. That's not saying.
No, not at all. But yeah, she seems to. So keep going, Kevin.
What I'm saying is he's a very entertaining fighter that needs the platform for people to see him on the big stage. And once people see his exciting style, what he brings to the table, I think he has a pretty good personality. He speaks English well. He speaks Spanish well, so that's another market that he can really tap into, which he probably hasn't tapped into yet. But I'm sure if he beats Canelo, he does interviews in Spanish. He does interviews in English. He's my and by the way, my wife is Hispanic, so she can kind of understand that dynamic that is there. He's very personable with people. Mike Tyson is a huge fan of David Benavidez. I'm sure if he fights Canelo,
look, everyone, we can safely say this, Kevin. We can safely say this. Everyone who isn't just a Canelo dick rider is a fan of David Benavidez.
Oh,
because how can you not be? That guy is so much fun to watch, and you're going to see a knockout, or at least someone get their ass whooped, because he has looked exceptional in the ring. Now, keep in mind, he's in, and you're absolutely right, and your wife is correct. Where if like I used to do publicist work for a lot of fighters, and when you look at picking up a client, you look for them to touch on all the different platforms that you just mentioned. Good-looking guy, great in the ring, speaks very well. He's bilingual, taps into the heart of the rabid Mexican fan base in this country, boxing fan base. He touches on all of it. So in your mind and in your wife's mind and most people's minds, he just needs that breakout moment. But unfortunately, and it's funny, Jose Sr. was in San Antonio, and I was doing the post-fight ring interviews, and I was doing the commentary for a local fight card, one of our fight cards, and want to thank everyone for who was in San Antonio for showing up to that. We had over 4,000 people pack that place, right? And it was a club show, guys. That's how San Antonio rolls, and want to thank everyone for coming out this past Saturday. And so Jose Sr. was actually training one of the combatants, right? That was featured on the card. And so I had to slip in a Canelo question, right? So after I was talking about the fighter, asking him, hey, how would you grade your fighter's performance? He said, he went through the motions. And I said, so, Jose, while I have you here, sir, is David ever going to get that fight against Canelo? And the crowd just goes nuts. And he goes, well, if there's anyone who can find his balls or find $200 million, yes, we're down. And dude, everyone just erupted, and it was great. But that's the problem now. So once again, if we look at, and this is best time to bring up Canelo's numbers, pay-per-view numbers. Now, guys, I know I'm not convinced that that's it. I am still trying to find the actual number. That's an estimate. But keep in mind, guys, the problem and the reason why I haven't been able to get the numbers thus far is because there's so many different avenues, revenue streams that you have to consider. When you're talking about pay-per-view numbers.
Joe,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is the fight that I'm thinking about right now. It just popped in my head
Yes,
because
sir.
we're talking about all these this fight that's probably Canelo. He doesn't seem like he wants to fight Benavidez, so I got to fight for both of you guys. Anthony Manzano. What do you think about this? Both guys have tested positive for banned substances. Ryan Garcia and Canelo Alvarez. What do you think about that? You think that's
boy.
doable? You think people would buy that? I think it's
Dude, everyone would purchase that thing, but they're not going to do it. Not now. Because
come on.
Ryan would get fucking destroyed.
Doesn't matter. The people, if they put that on the docket, so just say for next year, Cinco de Mayo, don't you think that would be a huge fight? Or you think,
dude, it would be the biggest fight you could make in boxing. The two biggest stars in North America, it would be much bigger than Canelo versus Terrence Crawford, and that's a huge fight. And in my opinion, that's coming, guys. That's coming.
Am I crazy that Anthony Manzano? Am I crazy for saying that, or am I just kind of just throwing it out?
No. I'm gonna say this. This is that right there is the same thing that Bud fans are trying to do. They want to get Bud killed facing Canelo. Like I'm a Ryan fan. That's a horrible idea.
Look. There are only two reasons, Anthony, why anyone gets into this business. First reason, to make money. Second reason, to make more money. So why are you doing it then?
I want to protect Ryan's health for the long run. I don't want him.
You know, brother, something tells me he can take care of himself. He's a prize fighter, right? He's a prize fighter.
Canelo fought Amir Khan, so this fight is not out of the realm of possibility. If there's money,
you're right. You're right. And honestly, that would be the biggest. And now here's the biggest red herring, right? Everyone points out the obvious and you're not the first person to bring that to my attention, Kevin, because they're the two biggest stars right now. Aside from maybe Tank, Terrence Crawford, they're the two biggest breadwinners in North America by far. Okay. So here's the problem that people have with it. Oh, they're good friends now. They buried the hatchet. They're brothers now. They're very dear friends. They used to be stablemates. But guys, if you look at your boxing history, fighters would do that. They would offer their friends, hey, I need the money. Can you fight me, champ? Sure, I'll give you an opportunity and we'll fight. Guys, these guys are competitors. And this isn't like, I don't know why people think that these guys have to hate each other to get in the ring and to be business partners. Guys, that false bravado, all that horse shit that you see at the weigh-ins, at the press conferences, that's horse shit, guys. For all intents and purposes, let me be the Wizard of Oz and pull back the curtain, right? Guys, for all intents and purposes, these guys are business partners. And if Canelo, the biggest problem with Andrade getting that fight, or David Benavidez getting that fight, he doesn't like them because they've been disrespectful to him through the media and even in person. The worst thing that Andrade could have ever done to Canelo was crash his press conference in San Antonio. I was there. And he and his dad make a spectacle of themselves. And that prompted the gaffe. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out. So Canelo, if you give him an ultimatum, he's going to tell you, get the fuck out of here. In my opinion, he doesn't expect anyone to pay $200 million for that fight. He's taking this attitude because, one, he's tired of people actually asking him. Like, if you remember the circumstances surrounding that press conference where he said, yeah, give me $200 million. I'll fight him tomorrow. The reason why he said that, one, it's completely unrealistic. No one's going to pay him $200 million to fight anybody. To fight King Kong, they wouldn't pay him $200 million. That's ridiculous, guys. And two, he wanted everyone to shut the hell up and ask him about the fight on the docket, which was Haymon Munguia. He got tired. And Canelo, the way he is, and I know this for a fact because Don Warwick Chargan was his advisor. I've been in his camp before, okay? When he was preparing for Floyd Mayweather. And I know this for a fact. If you give him an ultimatum, he's going to tell you, what, Anthony? Get the fuck out of here,
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, he's going to tell you. So, David, the worst thing you could do is to continue disrespecting him through the media. Because he'll tell you to go fuck yourself. And so the reality of this business, guys, is if a fighter doesn't like you, like Vladimir Klitschko couldn't stand Shannon Briggs. How did that fight ever play out? Did he ever get that fight? No. If you're an ass and you don't handle things like professionals and negotiate things in private, and if you're not respectful, he'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
So you think Morrell has a higher chance of getting that? So you guys think Morrell has a higher chance of getting a fight with Canelo than Benavidez?
Look, honestly, right now, Canelo's biggest problem right now is his lack of opposition. Guys, have you seen now that Benavidez, it's too late for him. He's never going to go back down to 68. And honestly, who the hell wants to see him compete at 68 when he's going to kill himself to make weight? You're not going to see the best version of Dave Benavidez. The only chance we have is like Floyd and Manny. The only reason why they fought, two reasons. One,
catch weight.
They ran out of quality opposition. They ran out of opponents, right? Well, fuck, now we have to fight each other because that's the only big money fight left. All right? They like, who wanted to see Tim Bradley Part 4 for Manny?
No,
and who
nobody.
wanted to see Maidana Part 3 or Andre Berto again? No one, guys. No one. Who wanted to see Victor Ortiz Part 2? Nobody. Okay, so they ran out of opponents, and then also, what is his name? Les Moonves, who at the time was the CEO of CBS. He got involved and said, guys, Floyd, we gave you this 5-fight deal making over $32 million a piece for each fight. We gave you that deal because we want Manny Pacquiao on our watch, on Showtime CBS. We want that fight, and damn it, you'd better deliver, or else we're not going to be happy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They were dumb. That was a terrible deal. I mean, you're taking a fighter and letting him dictate how you run your business, and basically they sank Showtime. But I gotta go. So, but just one question I wanted to ask before
yes, sir,
I leave. Am I nuts for thinking that Ryan Garcia and Canelo is a legitimate fight that people would pay for?
No, you're not nuts, and that's what I was getting to. But see, I'm a writer just like you are, so I have to explain everything, right? And so what I'm getting to is, dude, friends, if you want to fight with Canelo, you sit down and you ask him, hey, brother, let's put this together. Here's our proposal. This is how much money's on the table. We're both going to make a ton of money. And he will do it. He will fight Ryan Garcia. Just like he fought Haymon Munguia. And look, that's what I'm saying. And here's the biggest reason why I think it very well may happen. Because there's no one else he's going to fight at 68. Who's he going to fight? Look, if you look at the rankings at 168 pounds, you've got Christian Mbili. Who else? Jamal Charlo. Now that Morrell and Benavidez are moving up, who do you have? Nobody. You've got virtual unknowns. So if you bring up Ryan Garcia, and if he thinks there's gold at the end of that rainbow for everyone involved, you bet your ass that's within the realm of possibility. And he likes Ryan. That's the most important part. It's like, think about this, Kevin. If your business partners right? Do you want to be business partners with someone and make them millions of dollars, someone you can't fucking stand?
I guess it depends how much money you're giving me.
See, once again, that's the dilemma. Canelo still makes money with or without David Benavidez. So if he has his choice, yeah, he's going to say, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a question I want to ask both of you, actually.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
That's
Tony.
a question I wanted, before Kevin leaves, that's a question I wanted to ask you with the Benavidez situation. Let's say Benavidez beats this guy and then fights a guy, like fights a Beevil, since a fight with what's his name is off and stuff like that, and he beats Bivol. Can that, him beating Bivol, actually force Canelo's hand? Because the title that
no, Tony, no.
That
And once again,
that makes it more difficult to make in my mind.
exactly. Thank you. Because one, if there isn't a mandate already from every boxing fan, then I don't know what else to call it, because it's a mandate at this point from the real bosses of boxing. But you nailed it, Kevin. The problem is I will never understand this as long as I live. They're just weird, the Canelo fans. It's almost like if you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, which I am, God help me, you want to see the Cowboys fight, play the best, prove their mettle. We want to take on the 49ers. Bring them on, brother. We want to take on the Eagles. Bring them on. In boxing, why wouldn't you want to see your favorite fighter fight the best available?
Well, because
And
they're not
weird.
They're not sports fans. They're Canelo fans, and that's the reason why.
See, I'm a Canelo fan, and I'm almost turning on him. I'm at the point where I'm turning on Canelo. I'm a big Canelo fan, but I'm at the point where I'm giving up on Canelo, not even like watching some of his fights.
Well, you're a boxing fan who happens to be a Canelo fan. That's the difference. Some people, they're not boxing fans. They probably only watch boxing when Canelo's fighting, and maybe a couple other guys.
You're
a real boxing fan, but maybe your favorite fighter happens to be Canelo, but you actually watch boxing. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah.
There it is. Very good point, Kevin.
Other people.
Yeah. So, guys, moral of this story is, well, you better play nice with Canelo, or he's going to tell you to go fuck yourself. That's it. That's it, guys. But go ahead, Kevin.
Moral of the story is, before I go, next year, May 4th.
Oh,
Canelo versus Ryan Garcia. There we go.
Cinco de Mayo weekend hecho en Mexico. Canelo Alvarez faces pretty boy Ryan Garcia.
Actually, I have a better one. Mexican Independence Day in November. And is it September or November?
It's September, sir. Yep.
That would be even crazier.
Either way, guys, we're going to talk about Ryan Garcia, because I've been receiving a ton of backlash from Devin Haney fans this entire week, and I'll expound on that. But Kevin, thank you, brother, for joining us, and it's always a pleasure to speak with you, brother. You're a great, knowledgeable aficionado of boxing, and you're a credit to the business. Keep doing what you do, my friend, and thank you for being a part of the War Week Boxing family, brother.
Oh, thank you. And anybody who's there, I got a bunch of new content on my YouTube channel, Platinum Fights YouTube channel. Been doing some new stuff recently. Hopefully I can do some more stuff. I got some interviews with some Farid Samad, trainer from Mayweather Gym. I've been interviewed one of his fighters about a month ago. It's getting a lot of traction, and I'm be doing some.
Do me a favor, brother. Can you please list the link to that interview in the private chat, and I'll go ahead and post it in the description for you, okay?
Oh, of course. We'll do. Thanks, guys, and I will definitely, thanks for having me on, and I'll be on next time you guys have another chat, of course.
Thank you, Kevin. You're always a credit, man, and always an added bonus whenever you decide to join us. Thank you, my friend.
All right, thanks so much. I'm gonna try to figure out how to put this in the private chat somehow.
Yeah, okay, brother. Thank you. And guys, please go subscribe to our dear friend Kevin Perry and Platinum Fights YouTube channel. Right? Once again, very knowledgeable guy. Always, and once again, we pride ourselves for having pound for pound the smartest fight fans in our chat every single time we have a program, guys. I will put our fans, our listeners, our brethren up against any other podcast in the world. Thank you very much. And Kevin is proof of this. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, I might just put in the group chat because I'm on my phone, so I don't even know how to access the private chat right now. So
I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and put your Platinum Fights YouTube channel link in the description portion of this chat. Okay.
All right, perfect. Thanks, man. All right, see you guys later.
Thank you,
and
Kevin.
yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure.
All right.
But I tell you what, guys, that was Kevin Perry. Please go subscribe to Platinum Fights, okay, on YouTube. Very insightful, hardworking guy. Always has great stuff. Tony, I'll tell you what, though, guys. So going back to the pay-per-view numbers for Canelo, the reason why I haven't reported them yet, because there's for this pay-per-view, because the Tim Tszyu Seabass Fundora numbers were so disappointing. They decided to open this up and not confine it to just Amazon Prime. So you could order this through DAZN because Golden Boy and Jaime Munguia were involved, excuse me. And you could also get this on cable and satellite. You could also get this through payperview.com. There's so many different avenues that this was opened up to. So that's a lot of tabulation. That's why I haven't reported the numbers yet. But as soon as I do, I can guarantee you it's going to be considerably higher than 520,000. That is horseshit, guys. Horseshit. And I can guarantee it.
Well, for Canelo, sometimes I sometimes like he does his fights with Al Haymon or DAZN with Eddie Hearn. For some reason, I feel that because it's Canelo, sometimes they overblow his numbers. Like, is it possible that they're bloating his numbers for the pay-per-view? Actual pay-per-view?
Eddie Hearn is a used car salesman. Like, and I have no idea why some fight fans, they claim to be fight fans, but they're Eddie Hearn fans. And I have no idea why. Because he's just a fucking promoter. And just like every other promoter that's been in this business, he will say whatever sells. He'll say whatever he thinks will help his cause. That's it. Okay? He talks so much shit and he regurgitates so much nonsense. He's like a used car salesman. That's it. Okay,
I'm gonna compare Eddie Hearn. I'm gonna use this as a comparison for Eddie Hearn.
Tony, listen, Tony. So my point is, what he does, like his weird legion of supporters, right? Like he does the exact same thing as Al Haymon, in which Al Haymon used to religiously overpay fighters, inflate their market value, right? He used to inflate their purses to where it wasn't reflective of their market value, right? And so that made it very difficult to not only keep these guys active, but to put together the best fights possible. And he ran into that with Evan Haney. He also ran into that with Demetrius Andrade, with Gennady Golovkin, with Canelo Alvarez, right? And he's going to do the same thing. He's doing the same thing because he hasn't learned, apparently. He's doing the same thing with Jaron Ennis, paying him $3 million for Cody Crowley. You've got to be kidding me. Like, that is absurd. So, and for some reason, his fanboys, his dick-riding fanboys, will criticize Al Haymon but suck Eddie Hearn's cock for doing the same exact damn thing? It's ridiculous. And so my point is, Anthony, take everything that comes out of Eddie Hearn's mouth with a grain of salt.
A huge. I'm gonna use this comparison. Eddie Hearn, to me, to cross over to professional wrestling, he's Tony Khan. Yeah. He's basically a fan who became a boxing promoter, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And he learned the game from his dad, his Hall of Fame dad, right? His dad's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame for a reason. He was a great promoter, and so he learned that racket from his. Well, hold on real quick, Tony. Let's. There are several comments and questions I want to get to. Right. First of all, let me acknowledge Brother Ram Ranch. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you for hanging with us, my friend. Also, Trollmaster Mike. Thank you for being here, brother. And thank you for always supporting everyone on this channel, man. Thank you for being a part of our extended family. Also, once again, DJ Mexicano, thank you for joining us. Also, Jose Barrera, thank you for always supporting the content here, brother, and supporting our beloved boxing. You're a great fan. Marcos Chaz, even Marcos Chaz, thank you for being here, brother, and supporting the channel. Benavides only did 60,000 with Boo Boo. It was 60,000. Haney did 40,000 with Regis Prograis, right? But yes, that's still a dismal number if you're trying to hold on. Did Al Haymon really take Floyd's money? Guys, he may be the Madoff of boxing because it's not just Floyd's money from what I've been told. Now, once again, guys, these are all allegations and rumors. But yes, he is, and this is floating around the boxing community. This is insider talk now. Yes, it's apparently floating around within the boxing community that he owes Floyd. He's into Floyd for over $100 million. And what I want to know is, and Adrian Broner several years ago complained about the same exact thing, that he claims to be investing everyone's money. Is he really? Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter? Because let me give you some background, guys. A lot of managers in this business, a lot of very good managers, like Lester Bedford, like Mike Miller, they will actually set aside money for their clients and invest them long term, and you can't even touch it for 20 years. So it's a beautiful retirement nest egg. Set up an retirement account for them. And so it's funny, my friend Jesse James Leha from San Antonio, he was managed by Lester Bedford as well as Mike Miller. And he was given the same treatment. They put aside money from each fight in an investment fund, in a retirement account. And he just got that money. And so he's sitting pretty. He's enjoying life. And it's almost like they understand a fighter mentality that, yeah, let's save them from themselves. Let's protect these guys and let's put aside money for them. Long haul, right? And so that's what Al Haymon was supposedly doing for all of his clients. But did he? Because Floyd is like, hey, where's my money? Where the hell's my money? Guys, did Floyd unknowingly pay the purses for Tim Tszyu, Canelo Alvarez, Jaime Munguia, Seabass Fundora? Is he funding Tank Davis's next fight indirectly, unknowingly? Because someone, it's not Amazon Prime. This is a distribution deal only, even to the point where they're not even paying for production. Al, is paying supposedly out of pocket. Was he using Floyd's money to do that? Tony?
No, this is what a lot of people are saying now, that Haymon is a platform for the, like, he's not really a promoter. He's a platform for...
No. Al Haymon's a fucking con man. Let's just be honest, guys. He's a con man.
He's like Bernie Madoff.
But he's a Bernie Madoff of boxing. Now, you've got to be a special, intelligent type of con man to convince a guy like Richard Schaefer, who's now out of the business. But at one point in time, he was the most powerful promoter in boxing and the best money man in boxing. By far, he was a Swiss banker. He was De La Hoya's money guy. That's how we got introduced. And if you didn't know, most people don't. Warwick Chargan, Don, my mentor, the guy who taught me everything I know about the business, also taught Richard Schaefer the business as well as Oscar De La Hoya, as well as
Eric.
Oh my gosh.
Eric.
Yeah. Eric. As well as
is it Morales?
Everyone there. No. Gosh, why can't I think of his name right now? But anyway, the matchmaker, former matchmaker, is now CEO of Golden Boy, Eric, right? Taught him everything he knows about matchmaking, the business side of everything. So Richard Schaefer has a genius level IQ. So you've got to be pretty sharp, pretty convincing, and an exceptional con man. If you can convince Richard Schaefer to sabotage Golden Boy, not sign any of his talent to a Golden Boy contract, and still use his TV dates to cultivate Al Haymon's talent without any liability, without assuming any liability. Richard Schaefer is the one who took
Eric Gomez. Eric
Gomez. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Eric's a great guy. Very smart, very astute, and he loves this business. He loves the sport. He and Oscar were just high school friends, high school buddies. And he's now the CEO of Golden Boy Promotions. He's doing a great job this year. But yeah, you have to be an exceptional con man to convince a guy like Richard Schaefer to use all your TV dates to cultivate and nurture his talent, make them attractions, and then gut Golden Boy, leaving them for dead with Richard Schaefer holding the bag. That takes an exceptional, diabolical talent right there. So my point is, did Al Haymon spend Floyd's money on this endeavor with Amazon Prime? Unknowingly, of course, to Floyd. Because, yeah, everyone has been talking about this. That Floyd is owed over $100 million by Al Haymon. And apparently, Floyd can't get a hold of him. No one can get a hold of Al Haymon right now. He's not answering his phones. Not for Ronnie Shields,
it's funny you should say that, though, Joe. It's funny you should say that, but people say the reason why Floyd got stuck in Saudi is because he owes money, not no.
That was true. That was true. But that's just a $2 million. I know it seems like a terribly a boatload of cash for all of us, or most of us anyway. That was just a $2 million jewelry fee, and Floyd spends so much money that he just forgot about that. That was a mere formality. But we're talking over $100 million rock. That's a different animal entirely. Like the whole Dubai thing, that was just, the way they handled their bad debt, right? In Dubai, you can't leave the country. And apparently it was reported to the government that Floyd stiffed a jeweler there that paid him, that gave him over $2 million worth of merchandise, worth of jewelry. And he was supposed to pay it when he got back to America, wire him the money. right? Because they do not take Amex over in Saudi Arabia because they get charged every time you use a charge card, right? Like Amex, like Citibank or
Chase.
Visa or MasterCard. You get charged as a merchant, as a store owner, as a business owner. You get charged a percentage of that payment. And if you've got a huge debt of over, or if you've got a huge tab of over $2 million, that is a lot of money you have to give to the credit card merchant, right? So they said, hey, you know what? Don't worry about that. We don't take those because that's too much money. We don't want to give to Amex, who did nothing for the sale. So when you get back to the United States, go ahead and wire us the money and we'll be good. Well, Floyd forgot. So when he goes to visit Dubai, all of a sudden, he's trying to leave. He's on vacation. He's trying to leave. They red flag him and they refuse to allow him to, they refuse to let him leave. And so that's why he was detained. But it wasn't because he didn't have the money. It was just because, hey, you need to take care of this debt. And so he paid it. He left. Now he's in America. And now he's owed over $100 million by Al Haymon. So my question is, all of this money that, and we've heard Adrian Broner complain about this, all of this money that Al's supposedly investing for his fighters, is he actually investing it?
I don't.
Guys, look at all the Waddell and Reed money that he went through. Okay? And now he's having to fund this PBC endeavor with Amazon Prime himself because of all the money that he's lost for every platform that he's been a part of since forming PBC. Right? He's lost every platform that he's been a part of. He's lost them millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. And so no one wants to give him a line of credit, right? So he's having to fund this endeavor himself. He had to pay Canelo out of his own pocket. My question is, was it out of Floyd's pocket instead? Was it out of Errol Spence's pocket? Was it out of Adrian Broner's pocket?
Was it out of Manny Pacquiao Promotions pocket too? Because Pacquiao
that's different. That's different. He didn't have a trust fund set up with Al Haymon. Yeah, Manny already has his own thing, right? And he takes care of himself. He takes care of his own money. He didn't need Al Haymon for that. He only worked with Al Haymon for a very short time. I'm talking about lifelong clients, right? Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. I wonder how much money he owes those guys. Is he the new Bernie Madoff of boxing?
For me, I think I don't. For me, yeah, like how a guy like Al Haymon, if it's true that he's stealing money from his clients, how has he gotten away with it for so long? Do the other promoters cover for him? Is that what it is?
No one covers for Al Haymon. In fact, this is why he doesn't. I mean, honestly, he's got his own circle. Honestly, I've never had a problem with PBC. I've never had it. In fact, quite the opposite. Every single time I've covered a PBC fight, I've always been treated really well. Better than when I cover fights for Top Rank. Better than when I cover fights for Golden Boy. Like, honestly, this is what you expect, right? If you're a beat writer and if you're covering the fight as a content creator for YouTube, put it that way, he's one of the only promotional entities that will actually still provide lunch, right? Or breakfast or dinner for anyone covering the event. In fact, if he doesn't have something set up like that, he gives everyone on press row a food voucher worth like $25, $30 so you can go get dinner right there at the facility, at the arena. So my experience with Al Haymon and everyone involved with PBC has been very, very good.
If Al Haymon, who takes, like, let's say Al Haymon, if this is true, does PBC just shut down completely, or does someone else take over PBC from Al Haymon?
Who wants to invest in PBC when it's a sinking ship? Like right now, anyone who believes the load of horseshit that my former friend Steven Espinoza, right? And I haven't talked, I mean, he's still a friend of mine, but I haven't talked to him in months because honestly, anyway, I'm not going to say anything slanderous or anything bad, but yeah, put it this way. Anyone who believes that load of horseshit that Steven is saying that they've got dates and they're going to have fight cards for that aren't on pay-per-view through Amazon Prime. Anyone who believes that load of horseshit, well, I've got some oceanfront property to sell you in San Antonio. That's what I'll say. Because it's horseshit, guys. This is a distribution deal only. Amazon Prime isn't giving Al Haymon shit. In fact, Al Haymon's having to pay for everything, including production costs. Not only the fighters' purses, but production costs. Amazon Prime is only distributing the product. They're only delivering the product to the consumer. That's it. And I tell you what, if this didn't make a lot of money, Canelo, but I'm sure it did. I'm sure it. My estimation, now I haven't confirmed this, guys, but everyone I talk to, they think it did relatively well, which is anywhere between 750,000 and $1 million. That's what I'm hearing, but I'm not going to report anything until I get a definitive number, right? Like and once again, I know it's being reported as 520,000, but trust me on this. They would not be going through the Tank Davis Frank Martin fight if it didn't make money, right? And once again, they haven't fought yet, so that remains to be seen. But I'll get a number for you guys. I need another week. Without Al, PPC turns into the factions it already was. Yes, sir. That means all these other fighters are going to be free agents, and they're going to more than likely sign with other promoters. And if Al Haymon, without PBC, if he wants to be involved with boxing, he's going to have to take a back seat and quit being the control freak that he is. He's going to have to take a back seat and actually be the advisor again, right? Because, and honestly, I can't see him doing that again. That's like asking a Mexican woman to take a back seat and not be in charge of her own household. That's never going to happen, guys. I'm Mexicano, and I can tell you this with great certainty. Adam Lopez knows this. Puro Mexicano, Holmes. How you doing, Adam? It's good to see you, my friend.
This is an honest question. When it comes to what you're saying, is the money team and Floyd Mayweather Promotions big enough to stand on its own, or is that why he had a partnership with Al Haymon?
Look, guys, look, Tony. Let me just explain this, brother. And once again, thank you for bringing that up because that's a huge misconception. No major promoter uses their own money to make fights. None. Zero. Except now PBC and Al Haymon. Eddie Hearn, you think him offering, paying that purse bid, you think that was from his own money, his own pocketbook? Fuck no. He's using his own money. Okay? That's what determines the purse bid. How much is DAZN willing to spend? That's why he couldn't care less. And it's the worst racket in boxing. And that was my biggest deal before Turki Al-Sheikh started footing the bill for these events. It was all DAZN. And Eddie Hearn, he made money regardless, whether or not it was a flop whether or not DAZN lost money or made money, he didn't care because he was going to consistently make money, right?
Uh-huh.
Because who pays for the big expensive main events? The network. That's the licensing fee. The licensing fee to broadcast these events. The rights to get the licensing fee. You have to pay a licensing fee if you're a network to get the broadcast rights for these events.
So banks
Right.
are wait. So what you're saying is banks and like these fiduciary funds are the ones funding these events. It's not like directly
The
through
networks. And who pays for all the prelim fights? You guys do. It's paid through the live gate. The live gate pays for the undercard. Right? So what does a promoter actually pay for? Nothing. Nothing, dude. Promoter pays for nothing. Do you think Eddie Hearn paid these inflated purses to Andrade, Devin Haney, now Jaron Ennis, Danny Jacobs, Gennady Golovkin? List goes on and on and on. Do you think he paid? Do you think that any of that came out of Eddie Hearn's pocket? No.
Hell no.
And so that's the problem. For years, these promoters have been gouging these networks. And then I told you guys this was going to happen. Showtime leaving the business and saying, you know what? This is not worth our investment dollar. Boxing right now in the American market. Okay, so now guys like ESPN, Disney, guys like DAZN, they're pulling out the magnifying glass and saying, well, wait a minute. Is boxing in the American market worth our investment dollar too? Let's take a closer look. And I told everyone that this was going to happen. And idiot channels on YouTube kept just celebrating that Showtime was out of the business. Finally, we're rid of PPV. I'm like, guys, this is a symbiont industry. And my brother Adam Montequilla Lopez knows this. We all work together. This is a symbiont business. One fighter's success, one promoter's success, one network success affects all of us. And I tried explaining that to these idiots who are just glorified fans with a camera and a mic on content creators on YouTube. They're idiots. They don't know shit about the business because they've never worked a minute in this business.
Yeah.
And I kept telling everyone, listen, Tony, I kept telling everyone that Showtime ducking out of the business was going to be a terrible thing. So the only reason why we're still getting these great events, thank God for the Saudi royal family. Thank God. That's why we're getting this fight on Saturday. That's why we're getting this amazing card on August 3rd. And once again, I was very doubtful of Turki Al-Sheikh. I'm like, wait a minute. He's inflating these fighters' purses. When has that ever ended well in the history of our sport? Never. It's never ended well. So, but one thing that tells me he's in it for the long haul. One, he understands the importance of the American market for the health of the sport globally. So he's now, and he realizes, wait a minute, how the hell are we actually going to create and nurture attractions? How are we going to build attractions all the way in Saudi? That does nothing to help the American market. So we need to start staging cards in America, in Europe, in Japan, Australia, everywhere. That tells me he is in it for the long haul and he genuinely cares about the health of the sport. And so, guys, I'm not ashamed to admit this. I was wrong about the Saudi royal family's involvement in the sport. This is proving to be an excellent thing. Oh, shit. Larry, come on now, dude. No, thank you, brother. All glory and honor to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking, brother. Go ahead,
Joe,
Tony.
What we were talking, what I was gonna say actually is, I think me and you talked about this, that people are forgetting the fact that Disney is selling off ESPN, and the first sport that's gonna be on the, if they keep ESPN, the first sport that's on the chopping block is going to be boxing, because it's not a moneymaker for them. So boxing might leave ESPN
Well,
altogether.
let me tell you what's going to happen, guys. Let me tell you what's going to happen. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Top Rank. Well, hold on. Do you remember Dana White saying that he wanted to clean up boxing? He wanted to do Zuffa boxing, right?
Yeah.
What happened to that? Well,
Nothing.
now the primary shareholder of UFC is Endeavor, right? Endeavor.
Yes.
And they've got our hand in everything, predominantly pharmaceuticals, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry in this country, right? All over the world, right? Especially America. Yes, that's where they make their money. But they are the primary shareholder of UFC, WWE, Endeavor, right? And so listen to this, guys, and I'm going to drop a bomb right here. If that fight, if Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson sizzles on the big stage and wets the palate and is successful, and if they have a huge global audience, which I know they will, and if the product sizzles and creates the demand to see more boxing on Netflix, mark my words, guys, Top Rank, Bob Arum, will sell Top Rank Inc. to Dana White, and you will start seeing boxing on a regular basis on Netflix. There it is.
Is that a bad thing for boxing, or?
That is a great thing for boxing, guys. You're talking about a global audience that Netflix has of over 260 million subscribers. That would be the best thing for boxing.
I thought Bob was selling it to Endeavor.
That's what I just said.
Oh, no, that's why but you think Dana White would run Top Rank?
Of course. He's the man, dude. You cannot argue with the success he's had and the brand that he's created. Like, he created this brand and he is running it like a well-oiled machine. And honestly, I can't stand that piece of shit. But tell you what, you cannot argue with the success that he's had. And that would be, if Top Rank sells the company, which they're going to, that would be the most logical choice if you're Bob Arum. Trust me on this, guys. If Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is a big commercial and critical hit on Netflix, then you're going to see Top Rank Inc., Bob Arum, sell the company to Dana White and Endeavor.
No, the reason why I brought up Endeavor is I know Dana White, but what is it called? Stephanie and Shane have been trying to get into the boxing business, and they know how to promote because of WWE and stuff like that. So
yeah, so does Dana White. That's it. So once again, UFC and WWE are one and the same now. They're both owned by Endeavor. And very soon, if this is a big hit, guys, on July 20th, mark my words, then Endeavor will also own Top Rank Inc. And you will start to see the cascade of the Top Rank stars on Netflix later this year.
Wow. And I thought the Amazon Prime deal was going to be good for boxing, but I was wrong on that prediction.
I told you guys. Why? How were you wrong? I told you that this was a distribution deal only. And that if Canelo, if this event didn't do well, then yeah, that was going to be the death knell for PBC. In all honesty, if these two events, Canelo, which once again, I'm still waiting for the numbers, If Canelo didn't do well, and if Tank Davis tanks, which I think it's going to, because no one is outside of the boxing very small community bubble that is the diehard fan base. Outside of that, no one gives two shits about seeing Tank Davis fight Frank Martin. In my opinion, that's going to be a great fight. In fact, in my opinion, that's going to be the most challenging of Tank Davis's career up to this point. That is a great fight. That is a tough fight. I don't know if it's going to play out that way. It's got all the makings of a real snoozer because they're both counterpunches by trade. But it's going to be a very challenging one for Tank Davis.
Since you're in the sport,
in my opinion, I'm projecting pay-per-view numbers of less than 150,000.
Wow.
That's going to be a complete disaster for PBC. And mark my words, guys, that is going to spell the end of PBC on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you, Joe. Do you think it would, like, would be, in your honest opinion, as a person who covers combat sports and boxing in general, would it be considered a monopoly if a guy Endeavor also buys PBC like they're going to be doing with Top Rank from Bob Arum?
I'm sorry. What?
As a
Repeat
person
that,
who
please.
covers the business of the sport of combat sports and boxing specifically, in your honest opinion, would it be considered a monopoly if a company like Endeavor buys PBC also from Al Haymon and they can have Dana White?
PBC is a sinking ship. They will not. What they'll do is they'll buy Top Rank Inc. And they'll just wait for PBC to fail, and they'll just pick up all of their free agent fighters, right? If they're ticket sellers, if they have talent, right? But hold on. Khalid, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, Khalid.
Tank versus Frank almost sold out in Vegas. Well, it depends on who you ask because of what Al Haymon does. And this is one of the many rackets that he actually runs, just like Eddie Hearn in the UK. He will buy the expensive seats, right? And he'll sell them on a third-party market, right? Third-party ticket brokers. And he'll make triple the amount from ticket prices, right? He'll charge fans triple the amount for ringside seats. He's been doing that ever since he started. Well, he's been doing that ever since he helped Floyd start up Floyd Mayweather Promotions. He's been doing that ever since he's been working with Golden Boy Promotions. This is what he does. So once again,
is that considered illegal?
No, it's illegal.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is it considered illegal? Illegal. Yeah. I'm saying, like.
Well, look. It used to be illegal, not anymore. No, you can actually do that. Is it ethical? No. It drives up the price of tickets, ticket prices. It drives up the price as a whole of tickets. Why do you think so many bands now charge outrageous amounts of money? Because they said, wait a minute, these third-party brokers are charging triple the amount, and people are still paying for it? Fuck. Why don't we do that then? That's
so
why.
So when you say third party, you mean StubHub and Fandango?
Yes,
or ticket?
Absolutely. Now, scalping tickets used to be illegal, not anymore. It's a huge billion-dollar industry now. And so Al Haymon, that's what he does. He will buy up all the tickets, like the ringside, the expensive seats, and he'll sell them for treble the amount on third-party markets, through third-party brokers. That's how he makes a lot of his money. That's another racket that he's actually pulling in boxing.
Outlaw says, I doubt it, Joe. According to the LDBC, Tank is the face of boxing.
Okay. Yeah. All right, dude. Now, once again, how many of these LDBCers have actually been in this business for a substantial period of time? Yeah. Okay. That's all you need to know, brother. Yeah.
I have told the end of that seems very sarcastic. I have faith in PBC.
And there it is. And there it is. Yeah. Look, guys, honestly, Showtime, leaving boxing was the worst thing that could have ever happened to Al Haymon. That and Fox setting this precedent and putting it on a distribution deal. Like Fox set that precedent. Said, you know what, dude? We lost tens of millions of dollars for this 2-fight deal with Fury Wilder, thanks to you, Al Haymon. This didn't even come close to reaching the projection that you gave us. So you know what? We love your product, but it's not cost effective. So we're going to put you on a distribution deal only. And what did we get? We got shit. We got Charles Martin versus Luis Ortiz. We got Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios. We got all those shitty pay-per-views as a result, because none of his fighters that he paid inflated purses to wanted to work on percentages only. And that's what happens when you pay out inflated purses. So, guys, let's go to our main event of the evening. Let's start talking about Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk. Guys, is the slender physique going to prove to be fruitful for Tyson Fury? Is it going to help or hinder his performance this Saturday? Guys,
I honestly don't believe he's
hold on, Tony. I just posted the link. Anyone who wants to come up and voice their opinion, I'm tired of talking. I need to take a break. So, guys, you guys take over. You guys take over the show. This is what War Week Boxing Chats is all about. With that said, welcome to the stage at this time, the incomparable boxing scientist. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Hey,
How
scientist.
you doing, my friend? I tell you what, brother. Oh, hold on. That's Coach Gogi. Go ahead and cook, scientist. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so salute Anthony. Look, PVC should have been dead a long time ago, but people are really stupid, man, and they will pay for stupid shit, like all kinds of dumb shit, right? Like you had back in the
People
day.
are desperate for entertainment.
Yeah, but they're also really stupid, and they don't know what to do with their money. And so, like, for perfect example, I don't know if you guys remember when the Xbox 360 came out and the PS3 came out back in like 06, and the online gaming was free on the PS3, but people would rather pay for it on the Xbox when you could get it for free on the PlayStation. And so now the PlayStation saw that and said, okay, people want to pay, so let's charge them. So now there's no free online gaming anymore because people want to pay for stupid shit. And so, I think that's why the PBC is still around, man, selling us these garbage ass fucking fights. That's just my take on it, because people are fucking stupid and they take advantage of that shit. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't you? If people want to pay,
it's ignorance. You're right. It's stupidity and ignorance. Like the fans pay for anything because they don't know what is good. Sometimes fans don't know what is good for them.
yeah, they just go with what's popular, right? Oh, it's popular to pay for this, like, or whatever, and they just do it like, oh, this is Gucci, so you pay more for it, but it's like crap or whatever.
Well, hey guys, I'm sorry, boxing scientist. What are you guys talking about? I'm interested now, man. I just got off the phone with Gogi. He doesn't know if he's going to be on tomorrow. After all, we might do a daytime matinee on Saturday for him to, because he's really busy right now with several fighters that he's preparing for battle. So catch me up. What are you guys
No, we
talking
were talking about the ignorance and stupidity of fans buying these shit fights on pay-per-view. That's why PBC has lasted this long.
Oh, no. That's not it at all. So what is going on, guys? And the reason why PBC, out of necessity, is having to put all of these events, all of their future events for this year, if they last that long, it's on pay-per-view out of necessity. Because Amazon Prime, unlike DAZN, unlike ESPN, they're not giving Al Haymon and PBC a budget. So if the only chance they have of getting this to the fans is via pay-per-view. They have to attach a pay-per-view revenue stream to it. And so for all intents and purposes, you guys are paying the fighters' salaries. You guys are doing it. And so that's how this works out. But make no mistake about it. No one likes the idea of in a perfect world. In a perfect world, every promoter wishes they were like the NFL, in which networks would pay them billions of dollars to feature their sport, right? Their product on their network. Do you know how much Fox paid the NFL last year? Just to show the NFC, right? And to have the playoffs, have the Super Bowl. They
I'm
paid
gonna
them.
guess. I'm gonna give you an estimate.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna say 15.5 billion.
No. Over $2 billion. Because they understand when they're showing the NFL, because it's so popular in America, everyone wants to advertise when they're showing that kind of programming. That's where Fox makes back all their money. And it's cost effective. They know that with the NFL, they know they're going to make a shit ton of money, billions of dollars from Fortune 500 companies wanting to advertise and be a part of that product, that event, that game. And keep in mind, all Fox affiliates, they have in every market in America, every regional market, they've got games going on, right? At the same time. So they're making a shit ton of money, but they're paying billions of dollars for it. They paid last year over $2 billion for the licensing, for the rights to broadcast the NFC. And that's just the NFC. CBS, or was it NBC? I don't remember because I'm not an AFC fan. I'm an NFC guy. They paid the same. Now, when you've got networks willing to pay that much money, then that is a fucking popular product. And in a perfect world, the way boxing used to be back in the 70s and 80s, yeah, we had boxing on mainstream network TV. But the problem is the promoters got fucking greedy and said, you know what? We can make even more money if HBO's willing to pay X amount of dollars, more than CBS, more than ABC, Wide World of Sports, more than NBC. So we're going to give our product to HBO and Showtime. And that's what fucked us. Because when you limit your product to a small market, respectively, right? Then yeah, it's going to eventually diminish. The numbers, the popularity is going to eventually diminish. So promoters like Don King, Bob Arum, the Duvas back in the day, main events, they fucked us. They fucked us gotcha, dude. And so also couple that with promoters not willing to beat their feet and sell tickets. They actually started going for the sure thing and putting these big events in these sterile casinos. They took it out of mainstream America and put them in Vegas and Atlantic City. And why? Because they were willing to pay more. But they were very short-sighted. They went for the easy money, the guaranteed money right then and there, and weren't thinking of the future health of the sport. They fucked us. And so now boxing has become a fringe pastime in America, a niche pastime, into where the diehard fan base in America, believe it or not, guys, is less than 1 million people. You cannot survive. So you're having to put the biggest events in boxing now behind a pay-per-view paywall out of necessity now. And that's where boxing is now. So all of the biggest events, customers are having to foot the bill. That's where we are today. And it's not Al Haymon's fault. It's not anyone else's fault today, except maybe you can blame it on Bob Arum and Don King. They're still alive. They're the ones who to blame for this shit. Right? They're the ones to blame.
They're the main ones. They're the main ones. But Al Heyman is also a piece of shit himself because
Fuck yeah, he is. Hell yes. You're not going to find me sticking up for Al Heyman, brother.
Because he would pamper these boxers. He would
Yes.
overpay them. Say, okay, that's fine. You only got to fight once a year. That's fine, and we'll find a way to keep the belt on you. Like barely, Jamal Charlo barely got stripped of his WC belt that he never even earned, that he never even deserved to have. Like what the fuck is that about?
Well, you know what? Let's go back in time, guys. Right? Let's go back in time. And what you're saying is a lot of it is correct. Where Al Heyman, when he started PBC, and he said, you know what? I'm going to take care of the fighters. I'm going to pay them what they're worth. I'm not going to gouge them like promoters used to in the past. So what he didn't anticipate. Now, once again, you can give a musician. That's where he came from. He thought, okay, well, boxing is run almost identically to the music industry or the motion picture industry. Okay, so this is going to be very easy for me. What he didn't anticipate is that, and what he didn't factor in with all of his intelligence, he did not factor in the fact that actors and musicians aren't getting punched in the face. And so if you overpaid a musician, all you had to do to make your money back was put this asshole on tour and make your money back that way eventually. But you can't do that to prize fighters. When you overpay, inflate their purses that aren't respective of their market value, right? That makes them complacent. And if you're paying a fighter millions of dollars for soft touches in the ring, how much do you think it's going to cost you to put together the best fights?
Yeah.
That's the problem, and that's what he didn't factor in. Now, once again, his intentions may have been noble, but I tell you what, when you pamper these fighters, they get complacent and they become inactive.
Yeah,
now,
and they get soft. They get soft.
That's it. Like George Foreman and Marvin Hagler famously said. Yeah, it becomes very difficult to wake up 4 a.m. and go running when you're sleeping in silk pajamas.
Yeah, man.
And that's what happened. So once again, this is now the point we're at. It's a niche sport in America in which every major event is going to be on pay-per-view out of necessity. Because why? Guys like Canelo's asking for 35 million rock guaranteed, regardless of opponent. Tank Davis is now demanding almost 30 million rock per fight. Ryan Garcia is going to be demanding now almost 30 million rock per fight. So what's in it for the network? No one is looking out for the investment of the network. That's why Amazon Prime and everyone is like, fuck you, Al Heyman. We're onto your racket. Okay? This is not cost effective. You may be making money. The fighters may be making a lot of money, but we're losing money. And we're not doing it anymore on your watch. So until you prove us otherwise, until you prove that this is a popular enough product that's going to make us money, we're putting you on a distribution deal exclusively. You're going to have to pay for these fighters' purses You're going to have to pay for production costs, and we'll just deliver your package for a healthy percentage. It's almost like he's on probation. And let me tell you, he's about to go under, brother. If the Tank Davis fight, and we don't even know if it's going to go off, because I have no idea what the Canelo numbers are right now. At least not. I've got a ballpark figure, but I don't know definitively, and I'm not going to report them unless I know. But if this didn't breach the 1 million mark, then Tank Davis had better sizzle. That had better be a big commercial hit, and I don't think it will be, because no one is excited for the Frank. Yeah, no one is excited for Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. Look, the worst thing they could have done, and this just is the epitome of Al Haymon's leadership. Like, he has no idea what his target audience wants. Like,
Exactly.
Honestly, the best thing and Floyd knew this. Floyd was like, look, if I want to sell units, I need to attach myself. I need to wear the black hat, and I need to attach myself and make fights with someone who the Mexican fan base is going to want to support. Why do you think Tank versus Ryan did so well? Was it because of Tank Davis alone?
Because of Ryan. Come on.
That's it. Yeah. So why do you think Ryan versus Haney did so well? Because of Haney?
Because of Ryan.
Because of Ryan. And so what do you think is going to happen with Tank versus Frank Martin, a virtual unknown, a guy who couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night?
It's gonna flop. It's gonna flop, and
Yep.
I'm not shitting on the fight itself. You never know. It could turn out to be a good fight, like you said, but none of my casual friends are talking about it. Like,
None.
every time Ryan or Canelo fights, my friends are giving me updates. They're giving me updates,
Mhm.
and so it's like they're up to date with whatever Ryan or Canelo does. Tank, come on. He likes to say he's the face because of one successful pay-per-view he had with Ryan Garcia.
And because he won the fight. Yeah, but look, I will say this in defense of Tank Davis. You can always tell in this business who's actually got some mainstream juice. If they fight and they're trending on Google, yeah, they've got some juice. And look, admittedly, Tank Davis has some juice in the mainstream audience, right? Like, before he fights, he's going to be featured on all of these mainstream media outlets. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't pay any attention to mainstream media outlets. I don't even know what they're called, but he's going to be featured like on Good Morning America. Yeah, he's going to be featured on shows like that, ESPN. He's going to be interviewed with that idiot Stephen A. Smith. He's going to be on. He's going to be on Shay Shay. He's going to be on. I don't know, Breakfast, whatever it's called, the Breakfast Club. He's going to be featured on all those outlets, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And so that's when you know a fighter has that kind of juice, when they're featured and those outlets are interested in featuring that fighter. Like, don't be surprised if Tank Davis is interviewed by Joe Rogan before or after the fight. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
But guys, quality of opposition matters in this fucking business. Not only quality of opposition, but the level of attraction. Okay? Why do you think Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather did the kind of numbers that it did? Why do you think everyone is interested? And I hate it. But why do you think everyone is so dialed in to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul? Because those two guys,
they're household names. They're household names. Everybody knows.
When you have kids that are talking about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson and not Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk, yeah, that says it all. That says it all. Hold on, Outlaw. Hold on. Danny says, okay, Joe, we understand the business of boxing is shit. What about the upcoming fights this Saturday? Yes, thank you. Look, Bradis versus Opataya. Guys, that may steal the show. That is going to be a great fight. I can't see I can't envision a scenario where it doesn't deliver. That is a great matchup. Opataya is a bad motherfucker, man. I'm going to say that right now. Bradis might be a little long in the tooth. Don't be shocked. And once again, he's proven his durability over time. That guy, he's a tough motherfucker. But Opataya, he's in his prime. This guy is straight fire and the best cruiserweight on the planet at this time. But guys, that's going to be all action. That's going to be a great fucking fight. Don't be shocked if that one steals the show and is the most action-filled. But don't sleep on Ajit Kabayel versus Frank Sanchez either. Guys, this is going to be a great fight this Saturday. Fury versus Usyk is merely the icing on the cake. And this is one that we've been waiting for a long time. But boxing scientists, are we going to see the best version of Tyson Fury? Look, you already know what you're going to get with a disciplined, intelligent
Usyk.
predator like Oleksandr Usyk. You already know what you're going to get, right? That
Yeah.
guy he's like the Tim Duncan of boxing. He is
Yeah.
the big fundamental. He may not be the most exciting guy to watch, but he's going to get the job done. He's going to whoop your ass. But
That's a great comparison there. He is the big fundamental, but he's going against a bigger guy who has an awkward style. I think that Usyk is technically better, the craftier boxer. I mean, this is really a 50-50 fight, man. Because and Fury is just so unpredictable. You just never know.
wait a minute. Now, wait a minute, boxing scientists. Is it still a 50-50 fight in your mind? So what do you think?
Yeah.
Let's focus on the topic, right?
Uh-huh.
Fury, do you think the weight loss, and once again, he looks to be in great shape, but damn, I
Yeah.
always get flashbacks of Chris Bird and Roy Jones Jr. after competing at heavyweight, melting down to make the 175 limit, and their durability was all gone. Their chin turned to fucking dust. Are we going to see the same thing from a customarily durable fighter like Tyson Fury on Saturday?
Yeah, look, I think he's actually doing himself a disservice by cutting down that much. He didn't need to do that. Um, maybe maybe it could help him because he's getting more stamina. Maybe he felt like he couldn't knock this guy out, so he's got to go all 12 rounds with him. But if that's the case, I mean, the better boxer usually wins in a decision, and that's Usyk. He's slightly better. I'm not saying he's gonna completely box his ears off. You know, Tyson's gonna have his moments, but I'm starting to slightly lean towards Usyk at this point.
Oh, Usyk looks strong, dude. Usyk looks strong at heavyweight. He is really grown into this heavyweight division. But let's get to the X's and O's on this, guys. Let's start looking at the welcome to the show once again, Anthony. And once again, thank you, Danny, for bringing this up and getting us back to the main event. We appreciate you being here, my friend. Thank you for staying up with us. But I will say this. Did you guys notice anything watching the media workouts today? Did you guys notice anything?
For me, I honestly, I've been saying this on other on other platforms and stuff, that I honestly do not believe that Tyson says he's walking around at 219. There is no way in hell he cut that much weight. There is no way. At the minimum, maybe 245. At the maximum, 265. Like, there is no way
there's no way in hell. Look, no. Listen, Tony. You can go ahead and cut out 260, 265. Okay, because keep in mind he was 273 or maybe 277 for the third Wilder fight, right? How much did he weigh for Ngannou? Almost over 300 pounds?
Yes.
He was a fat tub of shit. And it's obvious he didn't train for that fight. In my opinion, because of that cut, he may have overtrained for this fight. A lot like Teofimo Lopez, right? And once again, he's not trying to cut weight to make well, look, Danny. Yeah, media workouts, most of the time they are a show, but if you were watching Tyson Fury, you saw some of the game plan. Once again, did you see what he was doing with that jab? If I didn't know any better, it's almost like, was he watching Tank's brilliant performance over Ryan Garcia in negating and taking away his primary weapon, that beautiful left hook? Did you see what Tank Davis did to nullify that beautiful left hook? He kept pawing and touching the left hand. He kept his hand on it. Did you see him doing that to Sugar with his jab? Did you see him doing that?
Yeah, he looked good in the media workout. Fury did look more impressive, I guess is the word, in the media workouts, but that's just a media workout, I don't know.
Exactly. Boxing scientists? Dude, that doesn't tell shit about his chin.
Right.
And that's the thing I'm most worried about. Once again, when you drop that much weight in like 6 or 7 months, okay? This is a guy, and now conventional wisdom. If you've been in boxing for a while, you understand if you're in great shape, customarily you bounce back from adversity very, very quickly. You're able to withstand the tough moments in a fight. You're able to recover extremely quickly. That's why Sean Porter was able to compete at the elite level, even though he's not an elite level fighter, because he was a tough guy, gritty style, volume puncher, and he would recover very quickly because he was a gym rat and always in great shape. But if you drop that kind of weight that quickly, look at Roy Jones, look at Chris Bird at 175 after competing at over 200 pounds. It didn't serve them well. Guys, that's a red flag for me. And we spoke with Ronnie Shields yesterday. He doesn't like it at all. He's like, oh, shit. What did you just do? You gave away, by shedding all this weight, your advantage on the inside. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Who looked to be the stronger fighter at these media workouts today? Was it Fury or Usyk?
In my opinion, Fury looked better in the media workouts, but it's like kind of like a show. It's kind of like a show. It doesn't really. It's not the end all, tell all, whatever. You can't really go off that.
No. You're absolutely right most of the time, right? Media workouts, fighters and trainers don't usually like to show their hand in the media workouts, right? That's stupid. But in my opinion, guys, it was impossible not to notice what Fury was doing with the lead hand. Once again, touching. That's what they've been working on in the gym. I know, Javen, and they're trying to actually negate that beautiful straight left hand of Oleksandr Usyk. Like, and it's crazy. Like, Usyk is going to. He's so good, man. He revolves around the pocket, showing you different angles, different looks, and that constant feinting motion, a lot like Lomachenko with his foot feints, head feints, shoulder feints, touch jabs. It's impossible. That's why he froze Anthony Joshua in their 2 meetings for 24 rounds. Anthony Joshua had no idea when to get off because he's a counterpuncher by trade. And so that's what he does extremely well. Oleksandr Usyk is so fucking good. This guy's a cerebral predator, but damn it, so is Tyson Fury. That's the allure of this fight. And in my opinion, if this weight loss hasn't affected the chin and durability of Tyson Fury, guys, we are in for a treat. This Saturday, this is going to be a heavyweight chess match at the fucking highest level of the sport. This is going to be an all-time classic if you know what you're looking at. Now, this isn't going to be Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but who gives a shit? Because let's just face it, guys, because this is in Saudi Arabia, how many mainstream and casuals are even talking about this?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
So
Yeah.
this is for us, guys. Now, if you guys, and this is where you guys come in, you guys are smart. You guys know what you're looking at in the ring, unlike mainstream and casuals. Host your fight parties. Teach these assholes what to look for in the ring. Show them how much you know. Convert these guys. Convert these guys into real boxing fans so they appreciate the real fights from the bullshit like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
Yeah, that's what I dedicate my life to, Joe. But it's hard. It's hard work, man.
It is, dude. Trust me, brother.
Joe, this is why I've been
I
saying
do this all the time. Yeah.
This is why I've been saying since the beginning, and people think I'm crazy. I think this fight ends up being a draw. It doesn't end up
hey, you know what, brother? That's my sexy bet of the week. Now you're causing me now by bringing this up to spill the beans before the weigh-in, because I usually don't like to reveal the sexy bet on World Heat Boxing, but the sexy bet is a plus 1,400 in Vegas out of my favorite sports book, the MGM Grand, right? The MGM book. They're plus 1,400 if it's a draw. In my opinion, guys, this will prove to be a real problem for the judges at ringside, and you're going to see scorecards all over the place. You're going to see. So, in my opinion, I think you're right on the money, Tony. This is going to be a split draw verdict. MGM book plus 1,400 are the best odds that I've found. Guys, that is the War Week Boxing Sexy Bet of the Week. A draw from Saudi Arabia, either majority draw or split draw verdict. And that means if you bet $1,000, you are going to win 14 large, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, a friend of mine put let's see, I think he put 2,200 on a draw for this fight.
Yep. That is a sexy bet right now.
What would the return be?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
What would the return be if someone put $2,200 on plus 1,000?
Oh my gosh, 2,200 on a draw?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. 2,200 on a draw.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That is let me do my math real quick. That is going to be over 30,000 rock.
Oh.
Yeah, you make over 30,000 rock, brother. You buy a brand new car with your earnings if it comes up a draw. And I'm telling you guys, don't be shocked if this comes out because, dude, let's just face it, guys. Judges, they don't know any more than you do, right? They're just the ones who have been working with the commission. But most judges from ringside, guys, they follow the same exact scoring criteria, and they don't know any more than you do when looking at a prize fight from ringside, right?
Not only that, but what about the referee? Like, do we know who's gonna referee that fight? Because the referees have a huge impact.
It depends on the style matchup. In my opinion, Tyson Fury, if he thinks now this is what this tells me, the media workout and everything that I today, as well as his weight loss, right? So Larry says Mark Nelson is going to be the third man in the ring. Okay. But what this tells me, the style matchup, and once again, how many clinches have you seen in respectively? How many clinches have you seen in Oleksandr Usyk fights?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Yeah, and it's because he doesn't allow it. Like, if you notice, guys, fighters, and it pisses me off so much when I advise young fighters, I'm like, dude, when your opponent tries to clinch you, dude, work through that shit. Tuck your elbows and keep punching. Don't just concede to him tying you up. This isn't a slow dance. Keep working, brother, on the inside. Okay? That's what Oleksandr Usyk does. Not only does he switch angles on you, so you can't tie him up, but he keeps working when you try. That's what Daniel Dubois, that was Daniel Dubois' undoing. Right? So you're not going to see, so that negates the official, right? The only time an official really comes into play is whether or not there's going to be a lot of holding and whether or not a referee allows excessive holding or doesn't allow it. Like Thomas Taylor, dude, he did a great job on officiating Canelo versus Munguia. A lot better than what's his nuts from New York did for Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney.
Oh, that was
that was a shit show, brother.
Huge contrast between those two referees. And you know what? I didn't even notice the referee in the Canelo Munguia fight, and that's how you know that's a good referee, because I didn't notice his face, his ethnicity, nationality.
Now, once again, Thomas Taylor, in my opinion, Thomas Taylor is the best referee in boxing right now. One, he's got the muscle to separate these guys and to take control of the action when he has to. Now, keep in mind what happened with the Isaac Cruz Rolly Romero fight when he deducted a point for excessive holding. It was all over. When Rolly Romero wasn't allowed to clinch any longer, it was all over. That was it. And so, once again, Martin Nelson is an excellent ref. Once again, how did Valdez Wilson play out? That was an excellent fucking fight. Guys, so once again, that's setting the table for a great, great high-level, elite-level chess match on Saturday. Tell your friends. Tell your friends, and if you don't want to purchase the pay-per-view, guys, go support the businesses that are showing this for free. Dave and Buster's. I'm going to be there with some of my prize fighters in San Antonio, and on the intersection of I-10 and 410. I'm going to be there with several of my prize fighters. Come and watch the fights with me, guys. I'm going to get there early at 11 a.m. So, guys, if you're in the South Texas area, make the trek. Come watch the fight with me. But, guys, if you don't want to pay for the pay-per-view, which is going to be $60, which is, come on, guys, Canelo Munguia was $90. Okay?
I'm probably going to Hooters to watch the fight.
You know what? That's not a bad idea either.
They still have Hooters? Okay.
No, it's actually pretty popular down here in Florida.
What I'm saying is that what PBS is saying is that Hooters now looks very, very conservative compared to a lot of places in comparison. Like, dude, when's the last time you've been to Ojos Locos? Oh my gosh, guys.
I just heard about that. Yeah,
we had our weigh in there on Friday because they were a huge sponsor. And oh my gosh, I was embarrassed. Like, dude, I had girls younger than my son coming up to me in lingerie asking me, I thought I was at a strip club, asking me if I needed anything. I was like, oh my gosh, please get away from me. I'm like, I feel like a filthy old bastard around you. Get away from me.
Hey, but I heard they have fine-ass bitches there. I've never been there. That's like a Texas thing, right?
Yes.
Is that like a...
No. It's all over the country now. But yes, it started in Texas. Hence the name.
Is it similar to Hooters Hooters and stuff like that, or?
Oh, brother, it makes Hooters look like they're fully clothed.
The problem with Hooters, they had a good thing going on, but they started employing like flat-chested females, which were, they were pretty, but I mean, come on, you're gonna call yourself Hooters? They gotta have
No,
knockers,
no, well, no. Well, look, dude, I don't want to get sexist on here. I don't want to seem like, once again, I pride myself on being a devout Catholic, right? But
Yeah.
that's the reason why I was so bashful. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get the fuck. Like, as soon as we finished the weigh-in, I got the fuck out of that place. Because honestly, dude, it was hard to be there. It made me feel like as soon as I got home, I wanted to jump in the shower.
Wow.
Like seriously, dude, it made me feel like a fucking sinful piece of shit. But I will say this, brother, if you haven't noticed, everyone seems to be about that behind, not about what you have up top today. So, dude, it's absurd. I saw girls there that had no business wearing lingerie, look like they were walking around at least $150 in nothing. Like, honestly, I wanted to eat a salad with all the cottage cheese that I saw. It was terrible. Dude, I wanted to make a claim for my insurance company with all the hell damage that I saw. Yeah, Outlaws got the beat. I felt like
So you didn't
drunken bastard.
you didn't like what you saw then?
Honestly, I was embarrassed. I'm
Dang.
like, oh my gosh, dude. And the place was packed to the rafters. Hold on, dude. I'm going to upload a photo of our weigh-ins. Guys, our weigh-ins put Top Rank and PBC events to fucking shame unless it's featuring Canelo or Tank. Like, I'm gonna upload this photo right now, guys, and you're gonna freak out.
What I was gonna
weigh-in.
ask
Look
you,
at it.
Joe,
Also
before
upload.
you upload, is Mark Nelson known? Is Mark Nelson a referee
He's
that's
an
known
excellent
for
ref. Yep.
No, but you excellent refs sometimes are very like they're known
Well,
for
put it this way.
jumping in.
Put it this way. He's a very liberal ref who doesn't stand for excessive holding, and he lets fighters police themselves in the ring.
So he's like a Richard Steele kind of.
No, he's not like Richard Steele. He's not like Joe Cortez. He's not like Kenny Bayless, and he's definitely not like Harvey Dock in this last fight. He's going to let you guys work out of it, and if you don't, he's going to give you a fucking warning for excessive holding.
No, my mistake. Mills Lane was known to be like that, where he was very liberal.
Yes, sir. Like Jay Nady. Perfect example. Jay Nady, Arthur McCanty Sr., Mills Lane. Those guys didn't put up with excessive holding. In fact, they would smack your hand away if you kept doing it. They would actually hit your hand like off of your fighter, off of your opponent. Hey, man, quit fucking holding. And they'll tell you, if you keep doing that, I'm going to fucking deduct a point. You better stop.
Yeah.
That's
was like in the 80s, though.
Danny Drew brings up a good ref, Steve Willis.
Steve Willis is an excellent ref, but he might as well pull up a fucking lawn chair and watch the fight from a corner, because he's almost non-efficient. Yeah, too liberal to a point, right? Or he doesn't give a shit. He's like, fuck yeah, this is getting good. And look, let's be honest. A referee's role is to ensure fighter safety. Steve Willis is a little too much of a spectator, where he'll let a fight go on maybe a little longer than it needs to. Like, honestly, for my liking, I love Steve Willis. I love Frank Cappuccino. I love Mills Lane. I love guys like Arthur McCanty Sr. I love those guys. I love Steve Smoger, because they let the fighters fight. They understand that they work their asses off put their bodies through hell during camp to recover from adversity. Give them the chance to recover from adversity. Don't have a quick trigger finger. And look, let the fighters fight. That's
Smoking
a
Joe
great
brought
ref.
up a name that I haven't heard. I'm not sure if you ever heard of Mickey Van.
Mickey Van. Yes, sir. Honestly, the best from the UK. Yeah, I agree. Smoking Joe, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for being involved, sir. That is a great ref. Yes. Hold on. Let me get this. I'm talking too much. TBS, take over for a second while I upload this photo, please.
I actually gotta go. I'm on my break at work. My break's over.
Well, hey,
So
brother. Thank you.
thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me. Thanks for having me, though.
No, dude. Thank you, brother. And you're more than welcome anytime. I love your conversation. Love your insight. You're more than welcome anytime, brother. We're on the air. So thank you, brother.
Man, later.
God bless you, my friend. Tony, it's just you and I, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've warned people. I honestly, I think Usyk is way too smart to, even if Mark Willis, or what's his name, Mark Nelson.
Steve Willis. Mark Nelson, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Nelson allows them to fight. I don't think Usyk is dumb enough just to stand there and let Tyson lean on him and tie him up like that.
Well, look, guys. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to have a problem. This is not going to be a problem. This is not going to be like Muhammad Ali, George Foreman. It's not going to be like Muhammad Ali versus Ken
Joe
Norton.
Frazier.
Yeah, Joe Frazier, where there's a ton of holding, right? Not going to have that problem because Oleksandr Usyk will not allow it. He does an excellent job of policing himself. And so
who's Steve Smoger? I never heard of that name before.
Get the fuck, you got to be kidding me, brother. Do me a favor, go watch Kelly Pavlik versus my gosh, who is the gentleman? Arkansas Razorback. What's his name? He beat B-Hop to win the lineal undisputed middleweight crown. What's his name?
Jermaine Antonio Tarver.
Go! No, Jermaine Taylor. Go watch Kelly Pavlik versus Jermaine Taylor. That is a ref. In fact, go watch Kelly Pavlik versus Edison Miranda. That is a great ref. He lets fighters fight, like almost to the, and he gives fighters every benefit to fight through adversity. He is not going to call the fight unless he absolutely has to.
But right? Danny said he played to the crowd.
Great ref. Oh, no.
He said he was a showman.
Look, no. Look, Steve Smoger is a guy who is a former fighter. The reason why he stopped fighting and just started working for the commission because he couldn't take a punch. He admitted that to me. Like I knew Steve, great guy. Like he was my favorite ref in boxing for a very long while because he let fighters fight. Steve Smoger was the man, double S, and a great guy and a walking boxing encyclopedia. And yes, he was a huge fan of boxing. And so he wanted to give fans what he was looking for in a prize fight. He understood that drama, fighting through adversity, picking yourself up off of the canvas and giving you every opportunity to win the fight, come back and win. That's what people want to see. And that's what he let happen. Like, there are no more Steve Smogers in the sport any longer. And it sucks. And it's really hindered the product. Because fans want to see some fight and drama in their fight.
That's why I kind of wish there was a referee school for boxing where you see this with pro wrestling with Earl Hebner and got like these Hall of Fame referees like Earl and Dave Hebner opened.
Are you talking about in WWE?
No. But what I'm saying is they opened up referee schools for referees to teach young referees how to referee correctly. and and not ruin the matches and stuff like that. Not get involved in the matches way too much. That's why. That's what I wish boxing did also. Like one of these Hall of Fame referees before they passed away opened up a school for young referees to teach them how to referee correctly.
Well, that's not it. That's well, look, look, be on the lookout. Be very weary of referees who want to be a part of the action, right? Who want to be, and this is always the sure. Mills Lane is an anomaly. He's the exception. But when you hear referees use a catchphrase before a fight, look out. That means they're going to be overly officious and want to be involved in the action to a fault. And it sucks. Like Joe Cortez, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Dude, get the fuck out of the way and let these fighters fight. Quit getting your ass involved.
Young
right?
Kenny Bayless.
And also Kenny Bayless. What I say you must obey. Get the fuck out of the action. No one's paying a ticket to see your stupid ass. And I shouldn't say that. I love Kenny Bayless. He's a great guy. And
I don't know what's happened with Kenny Bayless as he's got old. Like he wasn't that concerned. Like he never got when he was younger. He never got involved way too much.
He always allow excessive holding. He's one of those guys that actually believes that holding is a part of boxing. Bullshit. That's horse. Now watch this, guys. You want to see our last weigh-in at Ojos Locos? This is what a weigh-in looks like at a club show in San Antonio. With our involvement, with all of our work, we work our asses off, guys. Check this out. Now I'm going to extract you from the show right just momentarily, Anthony. I want everyone to. That is a photo of our last weigh-in this past Friday at Ojos Locos. I want you guys to take a good look. This is what a club show pulls in San Antonio.
Ridiculous.
That's how hard we work, brother. We work our fucking asses off to get the mainstream and casual fight fans or sports fans involved in these local fighters. That's how hard we work. We work our asses off to make, like, look, a crowd attracts a crowd. You've got to sell them on the idea that they're going to be a part of something special. And that's what we try to do every single event in San Antonio. And once again, guys, take another look. Look how many people, and this is a big facility. This is what, now, when's the last time you've seen this kind of weigh-in at a top rank event?
Never.
And there it is. And there it is, guys. I am very proud of the work that we do in San Antonio for all of these fighters and for all of these fans.
See, and Joe, this is what I've noticed recently. Like, why is it that boxing specifically, is still popular in states like Texas, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, but it has lost favor in big states like Florida, New York, and California?
Look, I can tell you this. Texas right now, for the past 5 years, have staged more events than Florida, New York, and California combined. Texas. Right now, it stages more events than any other state in the union. And that's because, brother, we don't, once again, first of all, the great state of Texas doesn't tax the shit out of these fighters or these promoters. We don't have a state tax, right? And two, most importantly, we actually help the fighters. We make matches. There's a reason why Jake Paul wanted this fight with Mike Tyson to be in Texas. I know a lot of people are scoffing at this, but guess what? If this fight sizzles, you guys will be thanking Texas and Greg Alvarez exclusively for putting this fight together. Because in no other state athletic commission does this fight happen. Jake Paul was smart enough to understand that.
Danny Drew brought up Lawrence Cole for insurance.
Oh, no. Oh, dude. And see, here's where I'm torn. Because the only reason why Lawrence Cole got all those big assignments is because for decades, his dad, Dickie Cole, was the man in the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, the Texas State Athletic Commission, right? That's the only reason why Lawrence, they talk about nepotism. That's the only reason why he got all these assignments, because he is absolute. And I hate to say this because I love Lawrence. He's such a good guy and he's such a nice guy, but he is by far the worst ref I've ever seen in any elite level event. That's right, Double L. Yeah, I just said that. Dickie Cole, God rest his soul. He was a great man. And you know what? Greg Alvarez is a great man also. And that's the reason why, guys, you're seeing this great state of Texas basically carry on their shoulders the sport of boxing in the American market. Like I said, you can put New York, Florida, and California together, and it still doesn't equate the number of fight cards that Texas stages every single year for the past
So
half
Florida
decade.
taxes their fighters like shit. Is that what you're saying?
You know what? Florida, to their defense, they've never been a huge fight market. They're more of a football state. Now, Texas is a football state as well, but we're also fucking boxing. And that has everything to do with the amount of Mexicanos we have. Like, dude, I'm Mexicano, puro Mexicano, brother. And I am the majority in San Antonio. I think we've gotten now, we're up to, like, with the amount of illegals that Joe Biden has allowed in this state, I think we're almost up to 65, 70% Hispanic in San Antonio. White people are the minority here. So yes, that's the reason why Texas is flourishing in boxing. And so it's funny when I work with some of these promoters outside of the state, it's like bizarro world to me. Like one of the many things I do for promoters is I help solicit sponsorship, right? And when I call and solicit sponsorship out of state, out of Texas, like say California, for instance, it's weird. Like it's really easy in Texas because everyone still loves boxing. It's still a big time product here. But in California, dude, I will contact bar owners, brewery owners, and see if they want to be a part of the fight card. Well, you know what? I don't think that's going to be a fit. We don't even show boxing at our brewery. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys are a brewery? You sell beer and you're scoffing your nose at chingazos? You don't show prize fights? Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm like, who the hell are, like, dude, what is your clientele full of a bunch of fags? I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like, dude, because I'm not used to it. And so it was very, very difficult for me initially to get used to working with promoters out of state. But I've gotten used to it now. And let me tell you, Texas is all boxing and football. Yep.
See, and this is why I kind of wish Florida would start getting more into. You have the island of Cuba right next to to you, and you can promote all the Cuban and Dominican fighters and Puerto Rican fighters because you're right
Yeah,
next to the island.
yeah, but you know what? Cuban fighters, give me one Cuban fighter outside of Yuriorkis Gamboa that actually sold tickets.
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem, because they're those disciplined guys who aren't willing to change, like flip the script. They're not willing to alleviate or deviate from the strategy, the fight plan. They're going to wait and stink out the joint until their opponent actually elects to take the lead and fight their fight, right? Look, brother, I'm going to say this. Ajit Kabayel, right? He's going to be taking on Frank Sanchez. This is a great fight, guys. That's going to be this Saturday. Ajit Kabayel versus Frank Sanchez. And guys, from what I've been told, depending on what happens between the Big Bang and Deontay Wilder in June, the winner of this fight, more than likely, if Deontay Wilder doesn't come through, and I have no confidence that he will, okay? The winner of this fight is going to get Jared Anderson next. You heard it here first, guys.
Larry says something. It's usually very big shows. However, Florida is coming up. There is a lot of promise for boxing in the state.
Well,
yeah, I agree with
look. That's bullshit, guys. Come on. Like, I know you guys would like to think that, especially because ProBox has actually elected to have their centralized hub and all of their fights out of Florida. But guys, take a look at our weigh-in. Once again, guys, look at our weigh-in. We have more people at our weigh-ins than they do at fights. Guys, I think they may average around 1,000 people in attendance for their Pro Box fights. It's like a tiny venue. Like, we had over 4,000 people crammed into the social spot in our last club show.
Yeah, and Joe,
like, honestly, dude, Pro Box should have come to San Antonio. We would
combat sports
every single week.
I'm gonna say this, like, in Florida specifically, the combat sport that dominates here is MMA. We have a lot of MMA gyms, we have a lot of MMA small MMA. We have more MMA promoters than boxing promoters in the state of Florida.
Yeah, look, I don't know anything. I don't know much about, I shouldn't say anything. I don't know much about MMA and bare knuckle, and I'm learning right now. So I can't speak into as intelligently as I'd like on those two products. But I will say this. As soon as we educate and get fans of MMA, teach them, and this is where you guys come in. Like, tell every MMA fan, like, look, Dana White instilled this ideology that you guys think that you have to compete with boxing. No, you can be fans of both. In fact, who are your favorite MMA fighters? It's obviously the stand-up strikers, right? And why? Yes. Because it's by far the most attractive of the combat disciplines. So there's every reason to love boxing. In fact, Dana White is a huge boxing fan. So get over this idea that you feel like, oh, MMA is better than boxing. No, it's different. And you can appreciate both. So cut your shit and start watching boxing. That's where you guys come in. Stage fight parties. Invite your MMA friends. Tell them what to look for. The reason why Joe Rogan does such a good job with MMA, not only is he very excitable and he's always stoned, but he knows a lot Like when you see two guys hit the ground, he's very good at explaining what to look for. That's where you guys come in. You guys are smart motherfuckers. Oh, hold on. Danny Drew, that is a wonderful thought. And that is obviously the MO, right? That's what their intent is. Pro Box. And I love Pro Box TV. I think it's the gift that keeps on giving, and I love their product. But how many viewers do they get every single week?
At the max, like 90. If I'm being generous, maybe like 50,000 viewers.
On average, it's between 35 and 40. And their peak is only like 7 to 9,000 at one time. That's the problem. And so if you think that a worldwide global audience is watching, yeah, you're fooling yourself, brother. I will never, honestly, guys, I'm embarrassed because I know all of you guys in the chat. You guys are awesome. In fact, I brag about you guys all the time that we have on Warwick Boxing the smartest fans in the sport on this channel. I brag about you guys all the time to everyone in the business. You guys are the most educated. You guys are the most intelligent. You guys understand the business better than pretty much every fan that you interact with on Twitter. And my hat's off to you, and thank you guys.
And Joe,
but hold on, Tony. If you guys think, though, that every diehard fan in the community is as intelligent or as insightful and as supportive as you guys are, well, you guys are sadly mistaken. Unfortunately, we've done a lot of great work on this channel, but guys, we're just now rolling up the sleeves. We've got a lot of work to do, guys. And that's where you guys come in. We need you guys to be those ambassadors. And that starts with telling your friends about this Saturday's fight. Hey, you guys are excited about Tyson versus Jake Paul? That's great. You should be excited. But if you guys want to see the elite, if you guys want to see the NFL compared to high school football, then you're going to watch this fight because this is the ultimate heavyweight chess match. The ultimate heavyweight chess. We haven't seen this kind of skill on the big stage since Lennox Lewis versus Evander Holyfield, since Evander Holyfield versus Riddick Bowe. We haven't seen this kind of elite level talent.
How about Lennox versus Vladimir Klitschko?
That never happened.
Wait, who did Klitschko fight?
Vitali and Lennox. That's what I'm talking about. We haven't seen that kind of pound for pound elite level skill on this stage in the Glamour division. Very good recommendation, though, since Lennox Lewis versus Vitali. That was, oh my gosh, dude, that fight for 6 rounds was absolutely incredible. And you know what, man? Both guys brought out the best in each other. And you're going to see that same thing on Saturday, guys. Now, look, we're approaching 3 hours, and I need to get some sleep because I've got a busy day tomorrow.
Joe, I'm gonna have to thank you. Like, for if it wasn't for you, Joe, James, Gogi, and some of these older boxing, like, I admit I'm a casual fan to a point, but you guys are educating me on the business and the technical aspect of the sport, and I'm understanding it a lot better. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, brother, for being a part of the Warwick Boxing family, brother. And we always love you on the show, and you're always welcome to come and chat with us, man, live. And honestly, guys, tell your friends if they want to hear the real. We're in this business, and we don't have any favorites. We're not right. So God bless all of you guys. Thank you for allowing me to get up here and talk for almost 3 hours. Thank you, brother. And yes, Danny, This is it. Undisputed for in the 4-belt era. Has never happened. We've never seen 4 belts, including the ring, 5 ever up for grabs. At this level, guys, this is an elite level chess match. And although I love Ronnie, it remains to be seen whether or not Tyson Fury's slender physique will prove to be a detriment. Once again, if he's durable still, and if he hasn't overtrained, if he's still in great shape, that means, and if he can still take a good shot like he's proven, once again, he can get floored. He's been floored 7 times in his career, but he's never been beaten. He's always gotten up and he's always quickly recovered. Guys, if he's still that guy, we should see and be treated to the best version of both combatants. Have we ever seen Tyson Fury in this kind of shape? Leading into a prize fight? No, we never have. And guys, he's with one of the best training tandems in boxing. And no, I'm not talking about his dad, John Fury. Kiss my ass. I'm talking about Andy Lee and Javen. Sugar Hill Stewart, my brother, Javen. Those guys have a strategy in mind. You're going to see Usyk versus Tyson Fury deliver in terms of skill, spectacle, and you're going to see for the first time, hopefully, an undisputed champion in the 4-belt era crowned on Saturday. Uh-oh, Danny Drew. I thought I was making my closing remarks, but I don't know now. I got Usyk, who everyone else got. Look, I'm the wrong person to ask because this is one of the rare instances where I'm unbiased when sizing up and looking at the keys to victory, looking at everyone's strengths and weaknesses, right? But I'm unfortunately not without bias during the live fight. I'll admit it. Javen, he's my brother. And whoever he trains, I'm going to be rooting for him. So I'm compromised, guys. So who do you guys have? I'll tell you what, keep that in mind. Think about it. Because on the on the day of the weigh-in, and whenever we reconvene with Coach Gogi, let your predictions fly, guys. If you want to wait till the weigh-in or the day of the fight, that's cool. Because I'm going to be going live also the day of the fight. I'm going to be broadcasting live from Dave & Buster's in San Antonio with my brother, Lee Cleveland. We're going to be calling the fight action as it happens in Saudi Arabia, right? From Saudi Arabia. So, guys, I want to thank you for hanging with me all night. And really, honestly, guys, you guys are salve for the soul. I just found out, and I'm going to drop this bomb on you guys. I just found out that I'm going to be having surgery again for my double hernia because they made a mistake on the previous surgery that I had. And so I'm really worried about this. So please, guys, if you can, keep me in your prayers because I'm going to be going under the knife again on May 28th. And so, yeah, this time spent with you guys is salve for the soul. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for hanging with me all night. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And please hit the like button. And please tell your friends about this fight, this historic undertaking that is happening this Saturday night or this Saturday day. And if you don't want to pay for the weigh-in, go support the local, or if you don't want to pay for the fight on pay-per-view, go support the local businesses who are showing it for free, like Dave & Buster's. I'm going to be there. So, guys, on behalf of everyone here at Warwick Boxing, thank you for being a part of our extended family. And thank you for hanging with me. Have a great evening, guys. And we'll talk to you tomorrow with Coach James Gogi. God bless all of you.
haven't even met me yet.
Rod Vachon Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herring.